Chapter 216. What's the matter? Li Sun asked. I want my father to be the top scorer in the examinations and become the top high scholar in Peng Prefecture. Zhang Xiaobao said seriously. What subject? When Li Sun heard that he wanted to become the first high scholar, he gulped and asked. The Jinshi subject, which was originally the elementary scholar subject. Zhang Xiaobao replied. Li Sun was no longer swallowing his saliva, but was wiping his sweat. He had promised to give these children a tribute, but it was the kind that would be placed at the back of the queue. Not many of them would be able to persist. But Zhang Xiaobao, or rather the person behind him, wanted to be the top scorer, and it was for the Jinshi subject. This was too scary. Xiaobao, when you go back, you should tell your family that it's not easy to become the top high scholar of the province. You need to have real talent, fame, and support. What I say doesn't count. Let's talk about the matter of the restaurant. Li Sun was indeed in a difficult position. He did not have the ability to obtain the position of the top high scholar in Peng Prefecture. Zhang Xiaobao wanted to discuss this matter first and said, Young Master Li, you don't have to be in a difficult position. You have the fame. From tomorrow onwards, all the restaurants in Sanshui County will sing Yongcheng poems. Within half a month, all the restaurants in Peng Prefecture will sing Yongcheng poems. During the new year, Guanyi Dao, Hunan Dao, Shanandong Dao and Hedong Dao will sing Yongcheng poems wherever there is a well. Li Sun was stunned. He understood what the person from the Zhang family meant. He wanted to use money to bribe people to spread the poems everywhere. As long as the poems written by Zhang Xiaobao's father were not too bad, there would be no problems. But how much money would that require? No wonder they did not want empty positions. Thinking of this, Li Sun nodded. If that's the case, then it will be easier to handle. With this method of growing vegetables, your father's reputation will be very big. It's time to let your father write more poems. Write more, write well. Did your family say how much they are willing to pay this time? He just wanted to ask Zhang Xiaobao how much money his family could give to the people above him, so that they could help him. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao was silent. He had to calculate how much income he had and how to distribute it. His family was suddenly poor again. Just the expenses for those rumors alone were not small, and he still had to give gifts. How much money could he have? Between the clouds and the water was not earning enough, at least not now. Little Luoshui could do it. It was not a problem for them to earn 100,000 taels of silver a year. Compared to those large clans with a foundation that could easily earn 1,000,000 taels of silver, it was not bad. Compared to those small clans, it was not bad. But this money could not be earned immediately. He needed a period of time. He was poor, but it would be enough to wait until his father finished his exams. 5,000 taels of silver a month. You can borrow some first. It should be 30,000 taels. I can take it all out at once. What do you think, young Master Li? Zhang Xiaobao calculated and gave a number when he lamented that he was poor. Li Sun did not understand what Zhang Xiaobao was thinking. Did his family not tell him about this? When Zhang Xiaobao said this, Li Sun smiled. It's good to have this money. I will help you arrange it. In fact, it is not a small amount. How much is the annual tax of the imperial court? With this money, people in the capital can also send invitations. Just wait for the good news. It seems that your family has made a lot of money. I will be counting on you in the future. Zhang Xiaobao naturally knew that the tax of the imperial court was not that high. It could easily be tens of millions. It was impossible. The main reason was that the tax was low. It was not like in the capital, where one had to pay 20 to 30% of the tax. But it could not be said that there was no money here. The wealthy families in the capital could casually send a gift of 1,000 strings of coins. At this time, the river there was not frozen. When the weather turned cold, the income would be even lower. They could only wait for the next year to sell ice. Then I will have to thank young Master Li. When the restaurant between the clouds and the water opens, young Master Li will also have a small amount of money. Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun. A fragrant smell entered his nose. It would be ready to eat in a while. Li Sun understood that this was a benefit given to him by the Zhang family. It seemed that this Zhang family was not bad. He could get some benefits from the way they grew vegetables. This time he got another. His imperial nephew was also poor. The money that the palace gave him every month was not enough to do anything. He originally wanted to buy the restaurant between the clouds and the water, but now he did not need to. Zhang Xiaobao said that this was a temporary idea. He immediately arranged for someone to go back and ask his father to write some poems. His father's talent was not bad. He knew a lot of things. If it was not for the fact that he was afraid that his father would be angry, he could have asked Wang Wan to help him think of some poems to fake. The stew bubbled for a while. After it was thick, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took the pot and gave some to Li Sun. They began to eat the fragrant rice. Li Sun praised as he ate. Good. What did you put in? Don't forget to send me some of that seasoning when you go back. I will ask the chef to add it when he cooks. With a common interest, Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun's relationship became closer. He chewed the beef with a bit of tendon at the back and nodded. Okay. I will have someone send it to your place when we go back. When the restaurant is built, the mountain and the restaurant will be connected. You can bring people who are close to you to play. Remember to pay. Don't let your family's business fail. Yes, I will. You must pay. When the time comes, I will also have a share. My carriage needs to be changed. I need to make a few more sets of clothes. Look at these clothes. I wore them last year. They are a bit small. Li Sun said happily. He even cried that he was poor. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at the clothes Li Sun was wearing. They nodded and didn't say anything. He didn't wear the same clothes every day last year. As long as his body didn't grow too fast, so what if he wore the same clothes the year before? The three of them sat together and chatted while eating. This made Han Yongyao and Yuan Xingyi, who were eating the smoked meat behind them, feel uncomfortable. Especially the smell of the beef stewed with radish and the fragrance of the cucumber. The two of them felt that the meat in their mouths was really hard to swallow. Brother Xingyi, didn't you just say that young Master Li won't eat other people's food? Now we have to add 2 more dishes. Han Yongyao looked at the smoked lamb leg in his hand and complained. If you give it to him, of course he won't eat it. But that dish is freshly made. If you give it to me, I won't be able to resist it either. I didn't expect that 2 kids could make such delicious food. Cucumber with garlic. I can even eat a bite. Yuan Xingyi also felt that the food in his mouth was tasteless. Looking at the others eating the hot food in big mouthfuls, he smacked his lips and finally took a bite of his own food. Who asked him to not bring anything raw? If he didn't want to be beaten, he could only endure. The adults who followed them also smelled the food made by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. One of them, who seemed to be a mother, said to the mother of another child next to her, If I had known, I would have brought some raw food for Xing'er. It's useless. They don't know how to cook. The children of the Zhang family and the Wang family are very good. Last time on the grassland, I saw them cook. I don't know how their family teaches them. The woman who heard the voice sighed. The one who spoke before said, It should be that their family is not rich. Their children have to help out since they were young. Not rich. This elder sister. Do you know which family they are from? Tuqiao village, the treasures of the Tu Zhuangzi, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The wharf in Xiao Luoshui belongs to them. There are hundreds of shops, restaurants and warehouses. They only rent and don't sell. The rent they receive every year is hundreds of thousands of strings of coins. The woman who understood the situation gave an introduction that she didn't know. Speaking of which, she was even more envious. The wasteland that they bought with 1,000 taels of silver turned into a chicken that lays golden eggs. When the woman heard that the 2 children were raised by the Tu Zhuangzi of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, she opened her mouth wide in shock. After a while, she closed it and said, Such rich Zhuangzi actually let their children learn how to cook? Could it be that they want their children to be cooks in the restaurant in the future? She said sourly. Then, she looked at her 11-year-old child who was gnawing on a meat pie. The crumbs were everywhere. Then, she looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan who were still eating. She helplessly shook her head. Today was the last time the child would eat meat pie. Starting tomorrow he would eat something else. The meat pie couldn't be left for too long. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished eating in a short while. They looked at the bowl that was stained with oil, and then looked at the water bag they brought. They poured a little water into it and shook it a few times. Then, They raised their heads and drank the water that was stained with oil. Then they took out 2 pieces of paper to wipe their faces. The river in front seems to be the day after tomorrow. Let's hold on for 2 days. Zhang Xiaobao put away the things and lay down on the withered grass. Are you really going to reach the destination? Wang Wan lay down next to Zhang Xiaobao and asked. Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei turned their heads and looked at where Han Yongyao and Yuan Xingyi were. They put their arms under their heads and said, "That depends on when we can make them quit. If they can hold on for a short time, we will go back early. If they can hold on until the end, then I will admire them." Absolutely impossible. We can't scare them to death. We can't make them feel absent-minded and weak. Wang Wan took out the blankets and pushed Zhang Xiaobao to turn over. One of the blankets was spread out, and the other covered the 2 of them. After lying down for a while, Zhang Xiaobao took out the knife and walked towards Han Yongyao. "You. What do you want to do? I'm telling you, if you dare to use the knife, you are finished." Han Yongyao looked at Zhang Xiaobao, who was holding the knife, and asked vigilantly. Yuan Xingyi also stared at Zhang Xiaobao. He didn't believe that Zhang Xiaobao would make a move at this time. Zhang Xiaobao came close to the 2 of them, squatted down, smiled at the 2 of them and said, "Don't be afraid. Don't have nightmares at night. I will cut some grass and use it as a pillow. You guys go ahead." Zhang Xiaobao said and really cut the grass beside the 2 of them. Han Yongyao and Yuan Xingyi didn't know what to do. When Zhang Xiaobao was almost done cutting, Yuan Xingyi remembered and asked, "Don't you have grass over there? Why are you cutting the grass here?" "Yes, but I don't want to see you die, so I help you. The place where you lie will be dangerous," Zhang Xiaobao said with a trembling voice. Chapter 217. You, what are you talking about? Do we need you to save our lives? Explain it to us clearly. Yuan Xingyi heard Zhang Xiaobao's words and trembled. He felt a little uncomfortable and asked angrily. Han Yongyao also stared at Zhang Xiaobao, as if he wouldn't let Zhang Xiaobao go if he didn't give them a reasonable explanation. Zhang Xiaobao waved the grass in his hand and said to the 2 of them, "See, this grass is different from other places. Look carefully, isn't it a little longer?" Hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, the 2 of them looked around and found that the grass around them was a little longer than the grass in the distance. However, they didn't know what was wrong with the grass being a little longer. Could it be that it could kill people? You don't understand, right? Let me tell you, the place you were sitting just now is an old grave. Old graves have this kind of thing. The grass grows a little longer on top. Why? Because grass needs water. How can it grow without water? Old graves are places of extreme heat. If it's heat, it's cold. If it's cold, there's more water. Zhang Xiaobao explained. In fact, this place was facing the sun, and there weren't many trees. When the 2 of them stood here, the grass would naturally grow a little longer. Even if it was a little shorter, it would be fine. Zhang Xiaobao had another set of words to say. The 2 of them quickly took a few steps to the side and seemed to be preparing to change places. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly said, "You want to leave? You've been standing and sitting on people for so long. How can you just leave like that? If that's the case, the thing inside will come out and look for you at night and press on you. Don't scare us. We're not afraid. If we don't leave, are we going to continue sleeping here? What does this have to do with you cutting the grass?" Yuan Xingyi did stop, but he still refuted Zhang Xiaobao's words. Zhang Xiaobao sighed and shook his head. "You won't understand even if I explain it to you. Look, if the grass is cut down, then there won't be as much grass left in this place. Look, the grass isn't yellow yet. It's a little green. When I cut it, it's like that, understand?" The 2 of them shook their heads at the same time. Han Yongyao felt a little cold and shivered. He asked, "Just mowing the grass? Will the things inside not come out?" "That's right, smart. That's how it is. Since you're on top of him, you have to do something for him. This place is shady, and the thing inside likes the shade. If you cut the grass that hasn't withered won't be able to get the water out. Only when the thing inside is happy will it forgive you." When Zhang Xiaobao spoke, his voice trembled with Wei Wei's. He sighed at how much the people here believed in such things. If he dared to speak to people like this in the past, he would have jumped up and punched him. Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao looked at each other and nodded. They felt that what Zhang Xiaobao said was indeed reasonable. Yuan Xingyi walked back and squatted beside Zhang Xiaobao. He asked, "If you help us cut the grass, won't it be fine? Why can't we leave?" "Who said it's fine? Don't you want the thing inside to know that it's because of you too? You have to put the grass under your body to sleep. At night, when the thing inside comes out, it won't harm you. Remember, don't let there be water on the grass. Otherwise, when you sleep, you'll find that it's hard to breathe, because something is sitting on you." Zhang Xiaobao continued cutting. When he was almost done, he rolled the 2 bundles of grass in front of Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao. The 2 of them hesitated for a moment, but still chose to listen to Zhang Xiaobao. The main reason was that a few people nearby also came to watch. When they heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, they nodded. At the same time, they began to look around to see if the grass had grown a little. Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao each bundled the grass and dragged it to another place. The grass here was shorter, so they laid the grass on top of it. They looked at the place where they were sitting and standing just now, and turned their heads away. It seemed that they didn't want to look anymore. Zhang Xiaobao cut some more hay, and rolled it into 2 balls to use as pillows. Wang Wan also put some hay under the blanket. This time they could sleep. When Zhang Xiaobao returned to Wang Wan, he said to Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao, "Remember, don't let the grass under you have water. Otherwise you'll be pressed down by the thing that comes out of there. That thing is very vengeful. Once it presses down, you don't know how many days it will press down. When you're pressed down, you'll find that when you wake up in the morning, your body will be sore and sticky." "Xiaobao, you're really amazing." Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao come back and moved aside to let him sit down and whispered, "I'm a good person. I didn't poison them. I even helped them a lot. What do you think we should do if the thing below comes up?" Zhang Xiaobao said with a serious expression. Wang Wan couldn't help but laugh. "You're a good person? And go to the grave and burn newspapers. Go lie to ghosts. I'm going to sleep first. You watch the fire. Don't let the mosquitoes bite me. This should be the last batch of mosquitoes. They're drilling into my flesh." Wang Wan muttered. She arched her body and fell asleep on her side. Zhang Xiaobao held a handful of grass in his hand and sat there. He looked at the fire and swept the grass above Wang Wan's face from time to prevent mosquitoes from flying over. When they slept until midnight, Wang Wan woke up and nudged Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao continued to lie down. When it was almost dawn, Wang Wan didn't keep watch. She got under the blanket and hugged Zhang Xiaobao for a while before they got up together. Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao didn't need to keep watch last night. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took the initiative to ask for it. This way, they could divert the time to scheme against the 2 people. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan tidied up their things and went to the place where Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao slept. They squatted down and looked. A few other people who woke up early also came over. "It's over. There's water." Among the people who came over, one of them pointed at the grass under Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao and exclaimed. This shout woke the 2 people up. Just as they were about to move, they suddenly felt that their bodies were sore and sticky. Just as they didn't know what was going on, the people around them began to ask one after another. Some asked if they had nightmares last night. Some asked if they were pressed down. Some asked if their bodies were sore and uncomfortable. Some even came over to touch them to see if they were sticky. Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao listened to the people around them. Looking at the water droplets on the grass, they felt their bodies. Thinking about it, they seemed to have dreamed of something last night. One after another, they couldn't connect the dots. Immediately, their faces turned pale with fright. "How did you do it? Didn't we say to let the grass dry? It's over now." Zhang Xiaobao sighed sadly and said there. Wang Wan nodded at the side. Pointing at the 2 people's faces, she said, "Why are they so pale? Could it be that their yang qi was sucked away?" The people around them looked at the 2 people's pale faces and nodded one after another. This made the 2 people's faces even more unsightly. They looked at each other and immediately began to breathe heavily. Han Yongyao was the most timid. He was almost scared to tears. He kept muttering, "It's over, it's over. What should we do now? Someone quickly come over to this young master." His family servants also knew about this matter. At night, they came over to take a look. However, they didn't see clearly. When they touched the grass, they only felt that it was a little moist, but there was no water. A servant was more clever and said, "Young master, don't be afraid. This is dew. I don't care what kind of water it is. My body is sore and uncomfortable. Think of a way for me." At this time, Han Yongyao didn't have the time to care about dew. Dew was still water. The servant thought for a moment, and took off a cloth bag from his neck. He gave it to Han Yongyao and said, "Young master, this is what my mother asked for 2 years ago. You should wear it. It might be useful." "Okay, when we go back, I will definitely reward you." Han Yongyao took the bag and wore it around his neck. He finally felt a lot better. The servant immediately said, "Young master, your complexion is better." "Really?" "Yes, it's a lot better, but it's still a little pale." "It's better than before," a person said with certainty. Han Yongyao breathed a sigh of relief. He was finally not so afraid, but the uncomfortable feeling in his body did not disappear. Yuan Xingyi was still afraid. He found his family's people and asked them. They really made an amulet and wore it to thank Zhang Xiaobao. Today, when you go to other places, you still have to use that kind of grass as a cushion. See how it goes. If it still doesn't work, then you can only go home early. Zhang Xiaobao didn't seem to think that wearing an amulet was enough, so he continued to say. The two people now believed it. They nodded and endured the discomfort in their bodies to eat. When they ate, they felt disgusted. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took out 2 dry steamed buns and made some cucumber and goose egg soup. They put some ginger foam in it and soaked the steamed buns in it. They ate until they were full. They didn't want to catch a cold like Yuan Xingyi and Yuan Xingyi. How could it not be uncomfortable to use the grass? If it was an adult, they would directly fall ill. Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to kill them, so he only let the 2 of them use the grass for 1 more night. There was a lot of dew on the mountain, not to mention the grass. Even the dry grass had a layer of dew on it. When everyone was almost up, those who wanted to go to the place first left early. In fact, it was useless. At night, if these people who rushed to the place first dared to sleep in the same place, it would have some effect. Unfortunately, even if they knew that there were people looking after them, they still wanted to rest with the rest of the group. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't talk as usual. They walked and talked. Usually, Wang Wan asked and Zhang Xiaobao answered. "Xiaobao, do you think that thing that came out of the ground will look for the 2 of them tonight? Will it find us?" Wang Wan's voice wasn't soft. She also looked at Yuan Xingyi and Yuan Xingyi. "Who knows? I hope it won't find us. Let's go further away at night. Don't sleep too well at night. Otherwise, we won't be able to react in time." Zhang Xiaobao also looked back at the 2 of them and shook his head. He was thinking of a way, which meant that he should sleep less at night. Chapter 218. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said this, the others moved away from Han Yongyao, fearing that they would be implicated. Even the adults in the family advised their children not to get too close to Han Yongyao when they were sleeping at night. Some even immediately sent people to the Taoist temple to ask for talismans. Well, the Taoist temple was almost demolished, so it was not easy to find it. Han Yongyao and Yuan Xiling were already scared. When they heard Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan talking nonstop, they were even more scared. When they walked, their eyes were blank, and they looked around nervously at the slightest movement. When the 2 of them looked around, the others also looked around, making the atmosphere even more tense. Along the way, there were many voices, but there were no voices. Only Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were talking about ghost stories. When it was time for lunch, Han Yongyao and Yuan Xingyi could not eat a single bite. They drank some water, and their eyes were obviously sunken. Young master, there is news from home. Last night, a haystack in our house suddenly caught fire, and all the haystacks were burned." Just as Han Yongyao was thinking about what to do at night, a servant ran over from behind and said while panting, "Burned? How did it burn? Did a person do it, or did it burn itself?" When Han Yongyao heard that the haystacks in his house were burned, he frowned. Those haystacks could be used as firewood, and they could also be used to compress dung. This would cost him a lot of money. "I don't know, but it shouldn't be done by a person. I didn't see any footprints. The Yamen runner went there first and said that it burned itself. But someone said that they heard some noise at night, like the firecrackers sold by Zhang Zhuangzi called the jumping sky monkey. The servant looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were sitting there eating, and answered the young master's question. Jumping sky monkey? So it was lit with that thing. Han Yongyao's gaze also swept over. The two of them did not conceal their conversation. So many people around them could hear them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan naturally heard it as well. The two of them looked at each other, held back their laughter, and looked at Han Yongyao in confusion. Young Master Han's haystack caught fire? Aya, this is going to cost a lot of money. That's weird. Why are there so many things happening on our side these 2 days? 2 days ago, someone came to my house to poison my fish. And last night, they came to young Master Han's house to set it on fire? You really didn't burn yourself? Zhang Xiaobao said angrily, and Wang Wan also echoed. Isn't that so? Who's so bad as to target our families? Aya, could something have happened to young Master Yuan's house? Did someone get burned? Wang Wan's last question was exactly what everyone wanted to know. The servant immediately replied, No, the haystack was placed outside. It's still quite a distance away from the house. I wonder who young Master Zhang sold the jumping sky monkey to? The servant had always suspected that he was sent by Zhang Xiaobao's family. He had already heard that Zhang Zhuangzi had caught 3 people who were going to poison the pond. There were rumors that they were from the Han family. Thinking about it this way, it was natural that they would want to take revenge. Zhang Xiaobao did not care about this servant at all. How could a servant like you ask me, a young master of Zhuangzi? Your master should be the one asking. Shut up, how can you say that? Young Master Zhang, it's all my fault for not being strict enough. But this is indeed what I want to ask. As long as we find out who sold the jumping sky monkey to, we can investigate. When Han Yongyao saw Zhang Xiaobao's attitude, he knew that his family's people were talking over him. He felt that his family's discipline was not good enough. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's servants always followed them silently. Occasionally, when they talked about them, they would just smile. Moreover, the servants who followed them usually talked to each other. It seemed that they were all educated. One moment they would talk about the falling leaves, the next moment, they would talk about the coming spring, and so on. When comparing the two, it was clear who was better and who was worse. He glared at the servant, then explained to Zhang Xiaobao. Only then did he ask the original question. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head blankly. I don't know. It's on sale every day, who knows who bought it? Cuckoo and I were not at home. Young Master Han, you wouldn't suspect that Cuckoo and I rushed back last night and used the jumping sky monkey to burn the straw in your house, right? Our house was poisoned, and we never suspected young Master Han. If he didn't say this, Han Yongyao would really think that this matter had nothing to do with him. But now that he said it, Han Yongyao was sure that the straw pile was burned by the Zhang family. This was to tell him that if you dare to poison my house, I will burn your straw pile. If you don't admit it, I won't admit it either. Han Yongyao suppressed his anger in his heart. He clearly knew what was going on, but he couldn't say it out loud. He held it in until his face turned red. He took a few deep breaths, then squeezed out a smile and said, No, how could it be the Zhang family? Just like what Miss Wang said, there must be someone who wants to harm our Zhuangzi. On the side, Yuan Xingyi heard the conversation between the two sides. He turned his head to look at the place where his servants were, then looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's innocent faces. He also began to worry. He also understood. At this time, Li Xin came over and said, Young Master Han, your house's straw pile was burned. I remember that I bought a lot of firecrackers a few days ago. Among them, I bought about 200 jumping sky monkeys. It's cheaper to buy more. Could it be that it's someone from our Zhuangzi? No, how could it be young Master Li's family? It must be an outsider. Han Yongyao could only swallow his words. Who told him to make the first move? He was anxious and angry, and his face became ugly again. Young Master Han, don't think too much. It's just some straw. It's not worth much. If you want to use it, you can buy it at my home in Zhuangzi. I'll sell it to you at a cheaper price. Zhang Xiaobao continued to anger Han Yongyao. Zhang Xiaobao was actually very unwilling to do this. Why was he competing with a child? But if he didn't let him know, he would go back and arrange for more people to cause trouble for Zhuangzi. He couldn't afford to worry about that. He could only use the child's method to solve this problem. After all, his family had some power. Okay, thank you, Xiaobao. Han Yongyao was really scared now. The Zhang family seemed to be capable of doing anything, especially this child in front of him. He obviously knew what was going on, but he pretended to be cute. None of the children of rich families were easy to deal with. At this moment, the thing that Yuan Xingyi was worried about happened. A servant hurried over. Before he could speak, Yuan Xingyi asked, "Did something happen at home? Did someone use a jumping sky monkey to burn the straw?" In reply to young master, no. Last night, someone passed by Zhuangzi and hawked the rabbit beak beans and bean strips that were bitten by insects. He also sold some grass that was good shade before autumn. It was still green and very cheap. He asked around for Zhuangzi and said that he would sell it at Zhangjia Zhuangzi. The housekeeper asked someone to buy some. But this morning, the main family's 4 horses and 6 cows started to have diarrhea and couldn't stand up. Young master, didn't you ask someone to go back last night to tell you that the family felt that things weren't as simple as they seemed, so they came to tell you? The servant gestured and told Yuan Xingyi what had happened. Who was it? Who wanted to harm the cows and horses on Zhuangzi? They even specifically asked where our house was. Fortunately, young master Yuan's housekeeper bought them. Otherwise, our cows and horses would have been finished. Young master Yuan, your family has really suffered an unexpected disaster. Without waiting for Yuan Xingyi to speak, Zhang Xiaobao shouted angrily and turned to Yuan Xingyi to thank him. You're welcome. Xiaobao's family is quite lucky. Yuan Xingyi squeezed out a smile and said to the servant, "Go back and tell the family that there's no need to investigate or report it to the authorities. That person definitely won't be found. Who's the one who feeds the cows and horses? Why didn't they find anything in the straw?" In reply to young master, how could they not look? But there's nothing in the straw, just grass and beans. The servant replied. He knew that the person who fed the cows and horses on Zhuangzi was going to suffer. At this time, Wang Wan interrupted and said, "Young master Yuan, don't you think so? That one had a stomachache, the other was moldy, but the cows should be fine. My family's cows can eat anything, so it should be croton. How could they not see it? Think about it, if they boiled croton and then soaked the beans in grass, they wouldn't find it, right?" Yes, the young lady of the Wang family is indeed extraordinarily intelligent. Boiling croton in water, that's very ruthless. Yuan Xingyi looked at Wang Wan's big eyes blinking innocently and felt a bitter taste in his mouth. Look at how good she was. She told you what happened, but it was your housekeeper's fault for being greedy. Go back quickly and tell your family. Don't think about the rest of the dung, Yuan Xingyi said to the servant. After the servant left, Yuan Xingyi's eyes swept over Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. After thinking for a while, he said, "After I go back, I'll send people to guard Zhuangzi. If anyone still wants to come to Zhangjia Zhuangzi and cause trouble, I won't let them go. Don't worry, especially those who want to poison the fish." Really? Then young master Yuan, quickly call that servant back. I just suddenly thought of a way. Boil the garlic with vinegar and pour it into the cow to see if it can be saved. Wang Wan's long eyelashes fluttered. Yuan Xingyi was stunned for a moment. His face was almost squeezed together. He nodded and said, "Okay, thank you, young lady Wang." He called the servant back and told him what Wang Wan said. The servant was a little worried about this method and asked, "Young master, will this work?" "Yes, go ahead. Can the situation be worse than this? If you don't eat it, you'll die." Yuan Xingyi believed that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan understood what he said just now, so he gave them a method. There was no need for them to continue tricking him. Han Yongyao didn't think as much as Yuan Xingyi. He didn't know how to apologize at all. Hearing Yuan Xingyi's words, he didn't understand. When no one was looking at them, he asked, "Brother Xingyi, are you really going to help Zhangjia Zhuangzi? They just harmed you." "I'm helping myself. Don't think about harming others when you go back. Bear with it for a while and wait for their new county magistrate to arrive," Yuan Xingyi advised Han Yongyao. As for whether he listened or not, he didn't care. Chapter 219. When everyone was on their way again, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not tell any ghost stories. Two Zhuangzi in a row got into trouble. Thinking about it again, the other party would definitely know to scare people. Wang Wan walked beside Zhang Xiaobao and whispered, "Is it not good for us to bully the children like this? Look at how we are being bullied. We are already adults, yet we still want to lower ourselves to the children's level. Do they know that we are adults? They know that we are not even 3 years old. It's not like they don't know how to behave. Especially that Yuan Xingyi. He spoke so well and apologized to us, but he didn't let us hear it. When he bullied us, did he ever think that bullying children is not good? Besides, if we don't bully them, they will continue to make trouble. Can you ask our parents to look for the adults in his family? The best way to deal with children is to use the children's own methods. Look at those children's shows in the past. Which one of them didn't have adults pretending to be children?" Zhang Xiaobao did not think much of it. Both sides were now even, and they could be more stable in the future. Then let's forget about it. When they come again, we will teach them a lesson. I don't know who released the sky-jumping monkey, but they can't find the person. Now that they are not afraid, do we still need to chase them away? It's okay, let's go home. Wang Wan saw that the purpose of this trip was achieved, so she lost interest in staying. Otherwise, why would they bring so many things here? She did not plan to stay any longer. She did not believe that Li Sen would punish them. After all, when the two of them arrived at the place, it was impossible to get a place for them to pay tribute. Let's stay for 2 more days. I will ask Li Sen about the new county magistrate. Also, after the people in the house finished talking with Song Jinggong, we will ask them when we hear the news. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while, and felt that he could take this opportunity to ask some questions and make plans early. Wang Wan nodded in agreement. The two of them stopped talking again, and lowered their heads to hurry on with their journey. Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao were indeed no longer afraid, but they had caught a cold last night, and had been on tenterhooks for half a day. They hadn't eaten much, so they didn't have much strength left. They gritted their teeth and persevered. "Brother Xingyi, how could these 2 children be so smart? Even we were tricked." Han Yongyao said weakly, "It's not that they're smart. When they came here, the adults at home might have already told them. Or maybe it's the servants by their side. As long as they're not too stupid, they'll be able to pick it up after a few lessons." Yuan Xingyi would never have thought that these ideas were all figured out by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He only thought that someone else had told him how to do it. Han Yongyao thought, "Now we are in trouble. I don't know if we can hold on. When will the new county magistrate arrive? Does Xingyi know him? You'll know when the time comes. They can grow cucumbers on Zhuangzi. When the county magistrate arrives, we can find an excuse to teach them a lesson. If it weren't for the 2 7th-ranked officials, it would be difficult to handle. Bear with it. Don't offend them before the county magistrate arrives." Yuan Xingyi finally gave up his ideas. He could only listen to his parents and wait. His family had already found out about what Zhangjia Zhuangzi had done these days. They wanted to intervene, but they didn't have the chance. Otherwise, how could he have given Han Yongyao bad ideas? He originally wanted to show his parents that he could also make trouble for Zhangjia Zhuangzi with his ability. When the time came, he would go over and ask for benefits. Otherwise, he would continue to make trouble for them. He didn't expect that before the first step was successful, Zhangjia Zhuangzi's revenge came. He made trouble for his family, and now he made trouble for himself. Between the clouds and the water in Zhangjia Zhuangzi, 3 Zhuangzi farmers were working hard to dig. There weren't many people from the Zhang family and Wang family this time. Most of them were sent to the mountain. The Gu family sent all the available laborers to Zhuangzi. Guangxi stood at the side and watched with his hands behind his back. He felt a burst of joy in his heart. Beside him, housekeeper Gu was also smiling. "Master, when the restaurants here are built, our family's wealth will be even more abundant." It must be said that the Zhang and Wang families' abilities are not small, but they are a bit stupid. They gave so many benefits to the manor's residents, and even gave us a share of the benefits. What a wastrel. Housekeeper Gu mocked Zhang family and Wang family, as he calculated how much income they would get. Guangxi turned his head and glared at the housekeeper. He said in a deep voice, "From today onwards, I don't want to hear you say such things, and I won't allow you to have such thoughts. Zhang family and Wang family don't want to see us live a hard life. So you still want to live a hard life. Although we are the main family, it would be good if we had 100 strings of coins left in a year. What about now? Last month I counted. There were 1,400 bolts of silk, 280 taels of silver in cash, 160 strings of copper coins, and 51 taels of silver in bits. The 2 storerooms in the house were also full. There were some things in them that were worth about 30 to 40 taels of silver. Master, our family is indeed much better now. Just now I only said it. I don't dare to say it in the future, and I don't dare to think about it. But I still don't understand. Can't they just buy our zhuangzi? Why do they have to be so good to us?" Once the housekeeper talked about money, he became excited. He reported exactly how much money Zhuangzi had now. Most of the money was from between the clouds and the water, and some of it was from selling seeds. The Gu family also sold them. They chose a good place to sell their seeds. The price wasn't that high, and the income was not bad. Guangxi looked at the small bridge and said, "Let's not talk about whether they will sell me or not. Even if they do, what can they do? There are too many secrets in Zhuangzi. If they buy my Zhuangzi, they will have to live next to someone else. At least the Gu family, Zhuangzi's farmers, and we won't harm them now. But if they change to a new neighbor, can they guarantee that the new neighbor won't harm them? The 3 of us Zhuangzi have been here for many years and know each other very well. The old man in our family can also talk to them. Will the new neighbor be okay?" "Master, I understand. If they want to live peacefully with a new neighbor, they will have to share some of the benefits. Who doesn't matter who they share it with. If they share it with us, we will be closer to them. That means we will have to help them at a critical time?" The housekeeper was enlightened. "We will help ourselves. If they collapse, we will be finished. Don't be afraid. Imperial nephew is also here. This time he also contributed to the construction of the building. This is a good method to pull everyone together. If there is a problem, everyone has to help. If there is money, everyone can earn together." Guangxi admired the Zhang family and the Wang family from the bottom of his heart. It was said that when the 2 children were about to turn 1, a master came to Zhuangzi. Why didn't he come to his place? If he really came to Zhuangzi, would he learn from them and share the benefits? Yes, this was taught by the master, and the master would definitely teach him. Housekeeper Gu was also thinking about this. He was much better than before, especially the villagers. In the past, they were afraid of him, but now they respected him. Wasn't it just making a set of clothes and giving him something? As he thought about it, Housekeeper Ji's mind became active again. He asked respectfully, "Master, we have seen Zhangjia Zhuangzi's drawing. Should we also learn from them and dig a few ponds and channel water into them? When the time comes, we can connect them with canals. It won't cost the tide of money. Let's wait and see if it is good. If it is good, we can learn from them. When the time comes, how many people can come will depend on how Imperial Nephew builds the road from Zhuangzi to Huayuan County and Yingyang County. If he can expand this river and connect it to the river on the other side, that would be even better." Guangxi was also clear about these things. Only when more people came could there be better income. Otherwise, with such a bumpy road, only those who came to between the clouds and the water could come from Little Luoshui. "Master, look, there are some people over there. It looks like there are quite a lot of people. Should we go and welcome them? They don't look like they came to between the clouds and the water. They came from Little Luoshui between the clouds and the water through another road." While Gu Yingxi and the housekeeper were immersed in their imagination of a beautiful life, the housekeeper, who was looking from afar, pointed at the road that came from there and said, "Let's go and have a look." Gu Yingxi was also puzzled. He was most afraid of people who came to find trouble. Seeing that there were benefits here, many people wanted to find trouble. However, they were all dealt with by the Zhang family and Wang family. With an official backing them, it was a little better. When the 2 of them walked over, they could faintly see that there were about 20 people there. One person was protected in the middle, and was pointing at between the clouds and the water not far away. Then he walked to the field and seemed to want to go straight through there. Guingxi and the housekeeper also quickly changed their direction and went diagonally to welcome him. The villagers who were digging the river also saw the people coming. When they saw the master of the Gu family coming to welcome them, they all stopped what they were doing and gathered together to walk in that direction. Especially the villagers of the Gu family. They were afraid that someone would hurt the master. Master, look, that's between the clouds and the water. Many people who heard it want to come over and have a look. Master, be careful. When they got closer, they could already hear the voice over there. A person was introducing between the clouds and the water to the people who were being protected. Wei Wei nodded and said, "That's right. I heard that one can eat and fish at the same time. The person who came up with the idea is good. Are they digging the river over there? Why are they digging the river?" In reply to Master, "I heard that they are going to build some restaurants here. There's a saying, the mountain is in the middle of the water. It's the saying in the Book of Songs." The person next to him seemed to know quite a lot. Another person next to him also said, "Sir, I've also heard some things. Yesterday, I heard from the villagers that a road will be built up to the mountain. It's called Green Hills Beyond Mountains. Good domineering. The name sounds good. Let's go and try it later. I heard that the food here is not worse than the signature dishes of the big restaurants in the capital." The people who were being protected smiled. At the same time, they looked at Guingxi and the housekeeper who were walking over. The people around them immediately stepped forward and blocked them. Chapter 220. The ground was hard and the rice stubble was short. There were people coming from the side. Just like the water pavilion, one had to guard against people outside. Guingxi, who wanted to see the situation, was blocked outside. 4 strong men blocked his way and the housekeeper. Each of them held a knife in their hands. Looking at the hilt and scabbard, it was obvious that their weapons were not for decoration. They were different from the treasured swords that other scholars usually carried. "Who are you? You dare to come here?" The 4 men blocked Guingxi. Another man came over and questioned him. "I can't come here?" Guingxi was a little confused. "Yes, this is not a place for ordinary people." The man continued to be serious. Guingxi pointed at himself, then at the ground, and then at the man who spoke. His mouth was twice as wide as usual. "Master, let's retreat first. There are too many of them. Come over quickly. Master is being chased out of his family's land." The housekeeper stood half a body length in front of Guingxi and shouted to the villagers who were about to arrive. This was bad. When the villagers saw that someone was chasing their master away, it was too much of a bully. If their master was really chased away, they wouldn't be able to make a living in Zhuangzi anymore. They wouldn't even be able to raise their heads when they go out. In a flash, the villagers rushed over with tools in their hands. The villagers of the Zhang family and Wang family were stunned and didn't know what to do. One of the people in charge of the village, who worked in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family, shouted, "Go! Without the lips, the teeth will feel cold." With these words, it was easy to deal with. The 2 families of farmers also rushed over. When the 20 or so people saw a group of people rushing over with weapons in their hands, a few of them immediately panicked. Only the guard remained calm. He called out and grabbed Guingxi and the housekeeper first. As soon as Guingxi was caught, the villagers surrounded the 20 or so people. They all glared at them and gripped the handles of their pickaxes tightly. "Don't be impatient. Let the master go." When the situation was tense, the man who had been protected looked at Guingxi and the housekeeper and said, "Master, there are many villagers here. Let him go." The master didn't allow others to say more. "Release." The leader of the guards could only grit his teeth and give the order. At the same time, he became even more vigilant of his surroundings. "Master, are you all right?" Once Guingxi and the steward were released, a villager immediately pulled them into the crowd and asked with concern, don't worry. Let's kill the bull that is usually not very obedient tonight. Everyone can have a taste." Guingxi looked at the surrounding farmers and decided to kill the bull. He was willing to pay the fine. After he finished speaking, he turned to look at the 20 or so people. He saw that the old man wasn't as scared as he thought. Instead, the old man smiled at him. Are you all from the Gu family? You know how to be loyal and protect your master. Good. The old man looked at the surrounding villagers and praised with a smile. The villagers didn't make a sound. They were a bit nervous, but they didn't want to shrink back either. My lord, the two people wearing different clothes over there are not from the Gu family. A person next to them who was afraid just now realized that they weren't being attacked and was slightly relieved. He pointed at the people from the Zhang family and Wang family and said. Hearing this, the old man's interest was piqued. He asked the villagers from the Zhang family and Wang family, is there a person in charge? Cloud Cavalry Manor's 1-star person is here. The person in charge walked forward a few steps with his chest puffed out and said loudly to the old man. The old man was slightly stunned. He smiled and said, Cloud Cavalry Manor, are you a servant of the 7th rank official Zhang Yongqing? What is 1-star? Gu family's Zhuangzi matter. Why did you send someone here? 1-star is the worst. Why didn't you come? Gu family is Zhang family's cousin. Gu family is Zhang family's servant. This servant wasn't afraid of the old man's gaze at all. He said loudly, Songhu, do you know what he is talking about? Zhang Jia Zhuangzi's worst servant. The old man stared at this servant and asked without turning his head. The servant on his left thought hard and shook his head. Master, I don't know. Who knows what he is talking about? The old man sighed softly and said to this servant, Are you willing to work for me? The servant shook his head. There is no joy in ancient Zhou. I am not from the Tian family. Good 1 Cloud Cavalry Manor's 1-star person. Ha ha ha, the worst? The old man said and laughed. Housekeeper Gu was confused. He asked Guingxi, Master, what are they talking about? Guingxi was the same as Father Zhang. He also wanted to take the imperial exam. When he heard the housekeeper's words, he smacked his lips and said, Gu family is Zhang family's cousin. It is said that when the lips are gone, the teeth will be cold. After that, it is said that Zhuangzi is the happiest. A loyal official will not serve 2 masters. The Tian family will not do what they say. Ah, master, you are saying that he, a servant of the Zhang family, used 2 stories in a row? When did the Zhang family become so powerful? Steward Zhang felt that he suddenly fell asleep. Otherwise, how could he be dreaming? He knew this servant. Guingxi's voice was not loud, but it was not low either. The people around heard it. Songhu, who was questioned by the old man just now, shouted at the servant of the Zhang family. You dare to lie to my master? Tell me, who are you? How do you know so much? Uncle, can your servant make the decision to question you? Uncle, you treat your servant very well. If someone in the Zhang family dares to do this. The servant of the Zhang family did not finish his words, but his meaning was clear. The old man's face, which had not changed color, suddenly turned red. He turned around and stared at Songhu, shouting, Go away. Songhu was scared and trembled. He lowered his head and did not dare to make a sound. The old man then asked the servant of the Zhang family, Can you tell me where these 2 lines came from? The servants in the mansion must first be taught etiquette. There is a room in the mansion where books are stored. The servants can read and write. If they are not literate, they can ask the master in the mansion. If they do not understand the meaning, they can ask the master, the madam, and the master if they meet. The 3 of them are the masters. They will tell you everything they know. I am usually stupid and learn very little. Just now, I happened to come across what I learned in the past. I am deeply moved, so I said casually, compared to the 5-star servants in the mansion, I am much inferior. If this servant was seen by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, they would definitely sigh. He was an impromptu player. Usually, he was inarticulate during examinations. Today, at the most critical moment, he was able to perform well. The old man and the people who came with him didn't know. They thought that the worst person in the Zhang family's manor was also the same. This was really a bit too frightening and too shocking. Not to mention the family of a 7th-rank official. Even among the 3rd-rank officials like them, how many of them could compare to him? The young lady of the Wang family also taught you some knowledge? The old man looked in that direction. Although he could not see the main courtyard of the Zhang family, he still asked. The servant's eyes immediately widened. He looked at the old man in front of him with a bit of fear. He thought about it as fast as he could and said, "Uncle, how do you know? The young lady of the Wang family has always taught us. There are many interesting things that we did not know before." But when the young lady of the Wang family and the young master started playing, we found that there were many interesting things. This time, it was the old man's turn to be stunned. Who is the young master? The young lady of the Wang family is already so old. How could she teach you servants to play? The young master is the young master. He is the child of the madam and the master, the little ancestor of the Zhang family. Ever since the young lady of the Wang family opened her eyes and saw the young master, she could not separate from him. Later on, when she was almost 1 year old, the young master and young lady started teaching us how to play. As the servant spoke, he wondered if he had said something wrong. If the matter of the young master and young lady was known by others, it would be troublesome. The old man understood this time and nodded. Are you talking about the young cuckoo of the Wang family Zhuangzi? No, I am talking about your madam Wang Qiao. To be able to learn from Qiao, that is your good fortune. Zhang Yongqing picked up a bargain. Fortunately, he got an official position in just a few years. Otherwise, Otherwise what? The servant was unwilling. This person always had a high and mighty appearance. Was the master someone he could talk about? Otherwise, it has nothing to do with me. He can suffer on his own. I heard that the 2 children of the head of the Zhang family are better looking than the children of other families. What do they usually play with? The old man no longer talked about Father Zhang. He began to talk about Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The smile on his face became wider. The servant was still angry. He turned his head and said, "I don't know." Suddenly, he turned around again and revealed a faint smile similar to that of a waiter. He said, "Just now, I was thinking about other things and did not tell Uncle. Uncle, do you want to know about the young master and young lady's past play? I only know that there is a small carriage. As for other things, you can ask Pomegranate." The old man was even more surprised. The servant was obviously angry, but he suddenly turned around. This kind of thing could only be seen in some big businesses or officials. It would not offend people and would not cause trouble. Since this was the case, the old man followed along and asked, "Who is Pomegranate? What star is she? Is she in the manor?" Pomegranate is the young master and young lady's servant girl. She originally had 3 stars, but after that, she has no stars. She dyed her collar blue and went to play with the young master and young lady in Xiao Luoshui. The servant clearly knew that they went to the wild survival place of the imperial nephew, but he lied. Why no stars? And dyed blue? The old man smiled and played along with the servant's question. The servant didn't understand and thought that the old man had been led away by him. He continued, "Uncle, look up, the sky is blue. The pomegranate is by the young master and the young lady's side. It means that they are a match made in heaven. A match made in heaven, a match made in heaven." As the servant said this, he was still thinking about what the young master and young lady had said. The other meaning was that there was always a sky beyond the sky, an inescapable net. Anyone who dared to cause trouble would be taught a lesson. The old man did not expect this to happen. It seemed that the status of the 2 little guys in the 2 families was not ordinary. They could let the servants by their side be independent of others. "Oh, then tell me, on the mountain behind your house, what is the matter with the 6,000 mu of land?" 6,000 mu. How is there 6,000 mu? There are only 4,000 mu. It has already been circled and reported to the yamen. There are some ravines in the mountain that have not been circled. The servant was even more vigilant this time. Could it be that he was here to investigate? Chapter 221. The old man did not expect that the Zhang family and the Wang family did not occupy the 6,000 mu of land, but only occupied 4,000 mu of land. Before he came, he had been told that there were many people watching over the land. If it was in the past, he would not have come. However, he was not feeling well these days, so he came to take a look. He heard that the scenery here was good, there were many people in the department, and the busiest time had passed. "Uncle, are you the new county magistrate? Then I advise you to quickly take up the position and not find trouble here. The Zhuangzi here has been doing things according to the rules of the imperial court. Your county office has been renovated, especially the place where the county magistrate and his family live. The window paper is the best, and the tables and chairs are the new ones here. There is also a Kong in the side room, and the firewood has been prepared for you. The servant took it for granted that this old man was a new county magistrate who was just a little older and looked good, so he kindly advised him. At the same time, he gave a look to a nearby farmer. That farmer was also smart and turned around to leave. The old man found it interesting and asked, "What other arrangements do you have?" "Arrangements? No, there are no other arrangements. It is all done by the people. The new county magistrate loves the people like his own children, so he helped to arrange it." The servant did not want to say too much. "No fresh cucumbers? Then it would be good if there were some cucumbers in the backyard," the old man pointed out. The servant hesitated. "This? Sir, you take the stability of the world as your responsibility. Maybe there will be auspicious signs." "Then what should I do if I am the county magistrate here?" the old man asked again. "Of course you have to build water conservancy, protect the people, pave the official road, promote farming, open schools, and ask for advice. Especially you have to listen to what the people want. It is not easy to be a good official, but it is also easy to be a good official. For example, money, you can think of more ways." The servant said smoothly and almost spilled the beans, so he took a step back. The old man looked at the servant and nodded. "Where did you hear this from?" "Of course I thought of it myself. Sir, you should quickly take up the position and do a good job. In less than 2 years, you will have enough achievements to be promoted. If you have trouble, you can come to us, the people." When the servant thought that the old man was the new county magistrate, he became a little agitated and spoke less fluently than before. Just as he was at a loss for what to do next, the manor owner who had just left ran over with Steward Zhang. Judging from the direction they were heading, it was between the clouds and the water. No wonder they had arrived so quickly. "Steward Zhang, you've come." Just now, this old man asked about the 6,000 mu of mountainous land. The servant finally let out a sigh of relief. Steward Zhang was more composed. After all, he had been constantly shocked by the young master and young madam, so he was almost indifferent. He waved his hand to the servant and said, "I know. Go ahead with your work. Don't delay the master's business." As the manor owners of the Zhang family and Wang family left, Guangxi also gave the housekeeper a look. The housekeeper also gave the order to the manor owners of the Gu family. The surrounding manor owners dispersed one after another. When the manor owners dispersed, more than 20 people came. They also had knives hanging on their waists. Compared to the few people around the old man, they were slightly inferior, but they had more people. The old man had more guards around him. Housekeeper Zhang glanced at the person beside the old man and said to the old man, "Uncle, may I know what you want to do here? If you want to chat, it's better to go between the clouds and the water." "Well, go between the clouds and the water. Lead the way. Zhang Yongqing and Wang Qiao haven't arrived yet?" The old man changed the kind attitude he had toward the Zhang family servants. With a sullen face, he signaled Steward Zhang to lead the way and asked about the master and madam of the Zhang family. Steward Zhang didn't say anything and really led the way. After walking for dozens of steps, he slowed down slightly. "Uncle, are you from the capital? Master is studying at home, and madam is busy with trivial matters." "Studying? Humph. Do you think the imperial examination is so easy? Do you know the rules?" the old man asked disdainfully. Steward Zhang didn't get angry. He still looked calm. "Uncle, you don't have to worry about that. Zhang Zhuangzi naturally has his own plans. Servants, go to between the clouds and the water first, and ask them to put out the signature dishes." The old man looked at the sky. It was indeed late in the afternoon. He didn't refuse and continued to walk forward. He didn't seem to have heard the housekeeper's words. When the group arrived at the entrance to between the clouds and the water, and was about to enter, they heard the faint sound of horse hooves in the distance. The old man's guards reacted quickly and immediately became alert. After a dozen breaths of time, they saw 2 horses and 1 person. It seemed that they had changed horses and rushed over. As they got closer, they could see that the person was wearing tight clothes. The rope used to tie his hair was long gone. His long hair fluttered in the wind. He held a whip in his hand and continued to whip the horse. When they were several feet away, the man pulled on the reins with all his strength. The horse that he was sitting on leaped up and neighed. The man on the horse pressed down on the horse's head and spread his legs, directly flying over from the horse's head. When he landed, he staggered and took out a letter from his chest. Suppressing the rise and fall of his chest, he shouted, "Under the orders of the little prince, I'm here to deliver a letter for the Zhang family's young master. Servants, call the doctor. Prepare warm tea and put him on the stretcher." When Steward Zhang heard the person's words, he didn't dare to be negligent. He told him what the young master and young lady usually told him to do. He stepped forward and supported the person first. He was not in a hurry to receive the letter. The people who came were indeed exhausted. If they were not Li Sun's personal bodyguards, if they were ordinary people, they would have died of exhaustion on the road. When they came, there were 3 horses, but on the way, one of them collapsed from exhaustion. They gasped for breath and shouted. They felt a salty taste in their mouth. They endured it and said, "I do." Steward Zhang took the letter and said, "Warrior, you've worked hard. Wait a moment. There's warm water over there. You can make a bath and some warm tea." While they were talking, the people in the restaurant carried out a stretcher. The doctor, who was always in the restaurant, worried that the guests would eat something wrong, also rushed over. He put the person on the stretcher. The doctor bent down and put his hand on the person's wrist. Before entering the door, Wei Wei tilted her head and said to Steward Zhang, "He's just exhausted. It's nothing serious." "Good. Thank you, doctor. Ask someone to prepare white fungus and bird's nest soup. When the warrior gets up, he can eat it." Steward Zhang was relieved. The young master and young lady valued this kind of messenger the most. How could he dare to be negligent? All of this was seen by the old man and the people around him. They were surprised by Zhang Jiazhuangzi's reaction speed. They were even more surprised by Steward Zhang's treatment. If the emperor was not feeling well, he couldn't go to the imperial hospital to find Dr. E. How could there be a doctor in the restaurant? The messenger could eat white fungus and bird's nest soup. Was the Zhang family stupid? Steward Zhang looked at the letter. He hesitated and said to the old man, "Uncle, please come in. Don't you want to read the letter first? It's a letter from the young master. Is that young master Zhang Xiaobao from Zhuangzi?" The old man thought highly of Steward Zhang's calmness. There's no hurry. Speed is the most important thing in war. Reading the letter is not that important, Steward Zhang said casually. He seemed to carelessly hand the letter to a member of the protection team who had just arrived. That person reached out to take the letter. Beside him, there was someone holding a fire scythe to ignite something in his pocket. With 2 continuous sounds of boom boom, a huge flame appeared in the sky. The old man looked at it in confusion. He didn't say anything and followed Steward Zhang upstairs. Just as they entered a room on the 2nd floor, the sound of horse hooves sounded again. Looking down from the half-open window, they saw the person sitting on the horse coming to the restaurant. A letter from the young master. 4-star express. Quickly send it to master and madam. The members of the protection team had already run over. They didn't need the person to dismount from the horse. They passed the letter, shouted, and moved aside. The person directly turned the horse around and headed back to the main courtyard of Zhangjia Zhuangzi. The old man saw all this and chuckled. Not in a hurry? How fast is a 4-star express? What's the fastest star? 5-star. Steward Zhang was a little embarrassed and said 2 words softly. 5-star means an emergency report of 800 miles, right? 4-star means at least 600 miles. It seems that your young master is fine. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a 4-star. There's no hurry. He's fine. With the wealth of the Zhang family and the Wang family, there's nothing to be afraid of. The old man heaved a sigh of relief. He muttered something softly, but the people around him heard it. As the waiter served the dishes one by one, Steward Zhang didn't need the waiter to introduce the dishes. He personally introduced the dishes to the old man. He saw and heard the old man's expression and words just now. He felt that the old man didn't seem to want to scheme against the Zhang family. The old man didn't continue to ask about the Zhang family. He talked to the steward about some of the renovations here and shared his opinion. He didn't eat much of the dishes on the table, but he tasted a few mouthfuls of each dish. After eating the cold dishes, he nodded. It's okay. It's slightly worse than some of the bigger restaurants in the capital. When he ate the hot dishes, he said with satisfaction, I heard that you have a special kind of seasoning here. There should be some in the dishes. What else do you have? Bring it up and let me see. As soon as the old man finished speaking, the waiter brought a plate over. When the plate was placed on the table, the old man was finally moved. The things on the plate could be seen at any time, but at this time of year, they could only be seen in the south. There were a few straight cucumbers with thorns on the top and 2 green eggplants. They looked like they hadn't been washed. They should have been picked and sent here. Where's the sauce? The old man really liked these 2 dishes, even if the raw eggplants weren't very comfortable. Uncle, do you want to eat sauce? The taste will change if you use sauce. Someone bring 3 kinds of sauces. As Steward Zhang spoke, he gave the old man a demonstration. He directly picked up a cucumber, rubbed the thorns off with his hand, put it in his mouth, and took a bite. The old man understood this time. Indeed, it wasn't embarrassing to eat cucumbers like this in this season. Other people could only be envious. He also picked up a cucumber and was about to rub it when the head guard next to him came over and said, Sir, I want to taste it. My lord, this humble one also wants to try it. Seeing my lord and Steward Zhang eating, this humble one has long been craving for it. Well then take one yourself. There's no need to take the one in my hand. With Zhang Jiazhuangzi's ability, he won't use such underhanded means. The old man paused for 2 breaths and finally made up his mind. Sir, it's delicious. When the weather gets cold, I'll eat it too. At that time, it won't be between the clouds and the water, but between the snow and the clouds. Steward Zhang, do you agree? The old man didn't wait for the guard to stop him. He directly took a bite and said to Steward Zhang with a smile. Unexpectedly, Steward Zhang shook his head and replied, Uncle, no matter when you come, this is between the clouds and the water. Even if there's a drought elsewhere, there won't be a shortage of water here. The mountain is on the side and the water is in the middle. When the winter is cold, people here will burn charcoal to melt snow and ice. Oh, then is the price of food also high? The old man asked. It's the same, unless you only eat vegetables. I heard people say that the signboard is more important. The housekeeper almost said the 3 words, young master. At this moment, the waiter hurried in from outside with a scroll in his hand. Before the housekeeper asked, he said, Steward Zhang, from today on, the poem written by Master must be hung in every restaurant and pavilion on the mountain between the clouds and the water and Little Luoshui. When we came here, Madam said to let Steward Zhang contact the shops in the capital. They don't belong to our family. Even if you have to spend money, you must hang Master's poem. Before the new year, find someone in the capital and send a visiting card. Got it. Uncle, do you know anyone in the capital? The Zhang family and the Wang family in Zhuangzi will definitely not neglect Uncle. Steward Zhang understood as soon as he heard it. The young master and the young lady were taking action. It just so happened that there was a decent-looking old man in front of him. If they didn't use him, wouldn't they be giving away a table of dishes for free? The old man's eyes, which hadn't been completely opened, finally opened to the highest point. He said in surprise, So that's how it is. So Li Sun is also busy? If you have the ability, don't tell me. This matter has been arranged since the drought locust. Give me the money and I'll help you find someone who doesn't want to help but has no choice but to help. Chapter 222. The sunset glow turned with the wind, and the red sun set in the west. There were no insects on the trees, only grass and leaves on the side of the road. Sitting at the foot of the mountain, Wang Wan was humming her grandmother's Peng Hu Bei song as she cooked. Zhang Xiaobao was beside her, changing the lyrics into a mess. Li Sun was waiting for the food to be ready. He felt that Wang Wan's song was good. As for Zhang Xiaobao's lyrics, there was nothing to say. Young Master Li, Cuckoo and I are going to go home tomorrow. The things here are almost done. At least we can have a few days of peace. Don't you want to finish the important thing first, so that others don't lose confidence and can't keep up? Zhang Xiaobao found that his lyrics were not appreciated, so he had to stop and talk to Li Sun. The purpose of him and Wang Wan was to scare Yuan Xingyi and Han Yongyao and let them have a few days of peace. It seemed that the effect was good. In the afternoon, they finished talking to Li Sun about the construction of the restaurant. Just now, Song Jinggong sent someone over and got some useful information. The people in the house were surnamed Zheng. His family didn't seem to have much power. His father was quite ordinary, but his mother's surname was Bai. He also had 2 uncles. His purpose of coming here was to see how the Zhuangzi of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family were doing. The other purpose was to learn from the dock at Little Luoshui. He planned to learn from the tributary of Zhengqiu, which was not too far from the capital. There were mountains there. Although there were more trees there, with his family's power, it was still worth a try. At the same time, this young Master Zheng's family had some savings, more than Zhang Xiaobao's family. It was not a problem for him to take out 10 times more money. He didn't ask who asked him to do this. Li Sun was a bit confused when he heard this surname. He didn't know which family it was. Until he remembered that his mother's surname was Bai, and he had 2 uncles. He said to Zhang Xiaobao with a smile, "If you want to fight with them, your family's foundation is far from enough. You have Zhuangzi, so you can manage it. Is the new county magistrate here? Don't worry." Zhang Xiaobao was even more confused. He asked a few questions, but Li Sun didn't say that person's name. He had to ask the new county magistrate. Li Sun answered, "This Jia county magistrate is quite capable. I don't say that he is very good at government affairs. If he wants to do things steadily, he won't make mistakes. He is a bit greedy. You don't have to worry about between the clouds and the water. I will take care of it. As for Little Luoshui, there is no place for me there. You have to think of something by yourself. You don't have to worry about one thing. He doesn't dare to collect taxes in Sanshui County, nor does he dare to give work to the people casually. He can only take from some merchants. How about this? I will buy 20% of the shops in Little Luoshui with 10,000 taels of silver. Tell your family about it." "No need. My family will think of something by themselves. You just have to take care of between the clouds and the water. Little prince, you must work harder. Otherwise, don't blame my family if you don't earn enough." Zhang Xiaobao replied quickly and deliberately emphasized the 3 words little prince. Li Sun was not angry. Others were afraid of him. Even if they pretended not to be afraid, they were still very respectful. Only Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, maybe because they were too young to understand this kind of thing, but he always felt that it was not like that. When they talked, they were about the same age as him. He really couldn't understand. "Time to eat. It's the last meal for tonight. Cook all the dishes." Wang Wan called out to Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun when she poured the shrimp from the pot into a bowl. She took the initiative to do it, saying that this was the dish she was best at. Li Sun smelled the aroma of the food and looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who seemed to be very happy. After knowing that the 2 of them would leave early tomorrow morning, he felt a little reluctant. He always felt that when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were together, they were not afraid of any trouble and could deal with all difficulties. Holding the bowl of rice, Li Sun scooped 2 spoonfuls of braised pork soup and mixed it. He also tore off a piece of garlic eggplant. After a few mouthfuls, half of the bowl of rice entered his stomach. He said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Logically speaking, if the 2 of you quit midway, you will be beaten with a plank." This marquis thought about it and decided to remember the plank first. "What do you think?" "Nothing. If you say so, Cuckoo and I will follow. When the time comes, let's see how you will give the 2 of us a place to get tribute." Zhang Xiaobao's reply was not polite at all. Li Sun was really stumped by this question. These 2 children were really too young. Other people would be at least 10 years old. When the time came, they would go to the capital to see the world, and then come back. They did not expect to be able to pass the exam. It was not that there were no teenagers who passed the exam. However, if he really sent Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to the exam, once they entered, just looking at the 2 of them would cause chaos in the exam hall. Li Sun already knew what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were doing here. They were tricking Han Yongyao and Yuan Xingyi. His family also followed suit. It seemed that the two of them would be much more stable in the next few days. It turned out that to harm other people's livestock, they could first use croton to boil water. The leaping sky monkey would also have less straw. According to this, if the leaping sky monkey was made bigger, it would also be fine to burn the provisions. In his heart, he already knew that it was impossible to beat Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, but when he heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, Li Sun still felt a little weak. He could only say, "You've eaten most of the things you brought today. Are you going to eat the same thing every day in the future? There won't be enough salt, right? Who told you to bring food and other things to survive in the wild? A knife is enough. Even if you don't have a knife, you can still survive and complete the mission." Wang Wan said disdainfully. She and Zhang Xiaobao cooperated well. They might not be able to complete the mission that was too difficult, but it was not too big of a problem to find a way to survive in a place where there was no human habitation. It was fine as long as they did not encounter a pack of wolves on the grassland. Li Sun was stunned for a moment. He did not believe it, but he felt that there was a master behind them. Even if he believed it, he also felt that it was impossible. He could only change the topic and said, "Can we dig in a while?" "Any time is fine. Don't dig too much. Forget it. Dig as much as you can. Don't look at the small size that you dig out. If you collect a lot, you can last for a day." Zhang Xiaobao gestured with his hand. Li Sun nodded and ate a big bowl of rice. He generously wiped his mouth with his sleeve and said to the other people who were looking at them enviously, "Let me tell you something good." While talking, Li Sun came under a tree, looked up at the branches, and then began to dig under the tree with a small shovel. He said while digging, "In summer, there are a lot of cicadas in this place. Now there must be some little cicadas under the tree. They fell from the tree and drilled into the soil. When there is no food, they dig these things to eat. Don't say that I didn't tell you. If anyone quits because they can't find food, they will be beaten." The surrounding children's lives were not bad, so they had never eaten these things. The people who asked before understood now. No wonder Monkey King brought vegetable oil especially for frying these things. With Li Sun's demonstration, the others quickly put the food in their hands into their mouths and also learned to dig. Especially those who had persevered through the grassland. They did not feel disgusted at all by eating these insects. Silkworm cocoons could be eaten, Qingshir's insects could be eaten, and this cicada could also be eaten. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't participate. In fact, the two of them wanted to say that the bark was also edible, and the grass roots were also good. Thinking about these children, they didn't want them to suffer this kind of torture. At night, Han Yongyao and Zhang Xiaobao were still tired, but they were not afraid. They wouldn't listen to Zhang Xiaobao and sleep with the grass that hadn't withered yet. Before Li Sun went to bed, he specially asked someone to write down what happened today, so that he could organize it and ask for credit from his father. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan covered their whole body with a blanket, only making a small hole in the mouth for breathing. When dawn came, they were not bitten by mosquitoes. After getting up, they made breakfast and used all the things they brought. They shared it with a few people who were close to them. Then they got on the carriage and went away under Li Sun's reluctant gaze. At this time, the other children were very smart. They didn't ask Li Sun why he didn't beat the two of them. After a day and a half, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finally returned to Zhuangzi. Even though it was not as prosperous as the county town, and was not as lively as Little Luoshui, the two still felt that it was the best place. "Little master, little miss, we've arranged everything according to what you said. The day before yesterday, a person came to Zhuangzi. His guards were much better than the guards in Zhuangzi. They all called him sir. In the end, he left in a hurry at night. He seemed to know madam and master." Steward Zhang helped Zhang Xiaobao, and Wang Wan opened the carriage door, and immediately told them what happened the day before yesterday. "Sir? How old is he? Do you know his surname?" Zhang Xiaobao felt that things were not simple when he heard it, so he asked. Steward Zhang shook his head. "I don't know. I didn't ask. It seems that he won't harm Zhuangzi. Before he left, he said that he wanted to help master. That old man doesn't look like a bad person. He doesn't look like a bad person. He's definitely not a bad person. Did you send people to follow him? Wang never believed in appearances. There was a living example next to her. The steward nodded. Yes, I sent 4 people from the guards to follow him. Oh, then the 4 of them will probably be back soon. If they're back, it means that the person doesn't want to do anything to us, or he might have a worse idea. If they can't come back, then don't let me know who the old man is. I have to take revenge for the people who went. Zhang Xiaobao was a little worried when he heard that the steward sent people. The guards in the guards were all villagers. If they really wanted to follow them, it would be better to send the hunters recruited by the master. Of course, it would be best if he and Wang went there personally. They were much better at hiding and following than the villagers. Little master, are you saying that they will be in danger? The steward thought about it and also felt that he didn't make the right arrangements. There's no danger. Aren't they back now? Ask them if they lost the person by the Jingshui River. Zhang Xiaobao looked in the direction of the small bridge. The 4 people were riding back. Chapter 223. In the early days of winter, the first light snow fell from the sky. As soon as it landed on the ground, the roof turned into a puddle of water. The domestic animals on Zhuangzi shivered and were unwilling to leave their nests. Old Yellow Dog brought some rags and hay out of nowhere and made a bed for himself. Apart from the evergreen Uncle Pine on the mountain, there seemed to be no trace of greenery in the world. There were no sounds of frogs croaking in summer or autumn. There was also no sound of little swallows chirping. There was only mud on the ground, but there was no smell of soil. After the silkworm farmers cooked the silk, some would spin it into a ball, while others would just leave it. This year, there was no need to hand in anything to the county. The harvest was less, but the days were better. The people selling liangpi in the county were nowhere to be seen. The business of pancakes seemed to be better. The people selling tanghulu also came out early and sold from dawn to dusk. The thin pieces of tanghulu hanging on the tanghulu did not melt too much. It was much better than the white sugar. One could feel the crunchiness amidst the sweetness and sourness. The workers at the little Luoshui pier were busier than before. Many merchants wanted to earn a sum of money in the winter. While the river was not frozen yet, they worked hard to transport the goods they could receive. There were several large shelves supported by ropes and hooks at the bottom, making the docks much faster. This made the business of the restaurants and shops beside the docks go crazy. The scholars and beauties seemed to feel that there was nothing to write about in this season. Some of them hid at home and thought about what to write about in the winter snow. The only place that many scholars were still willing to stay was between the clouds and the water. Wang deliberately used a phrase that attracted many people before it snowed, who said that cicadas in winter were thin and cold, but said that the weather was cold in autumn. Others did not know where this phrase came from, nor did they know that the first phrase was that the youth did not know the taste of worry. Many scholars directly thought of these 2 phrases as that when the weather was cold, some poor people did not have clothes to wear. Some people even admired this kind of scenery. Scholars always liked to place their feelings in the scenery. In addition, between the clouds and the water released a new dish, which made them even more willing to come and taste it. They felt sentimental while eating. It is not the sound of cicadas in the heart. The silkworms will not stop until they die. That was how the name of the dish came about. To put it simply, there were 3 words: Si Fang Jin. Zhang Xiaobao didn't pay attention to this aspect. Wang came up with the idea herself. Judging from the situation of the customers ordering this dish, it was not bad. Originally, after the silkworm cocoons were shredded, most people would not eat them. The farmers would keep them for themselves for a few days. If they could not finish them, they could only throw them away. Wang specially thought of this method for them, and changed Li Xiaoyou's sentence. That was how Wang evaluated Li Shangyin. She said that most of his poems were filled with melancholy. For example, Jin Sei was pleasant to hear, but there was always a kind of sad beauty to it. Wang liked the line, "Bright pearls in the vast sea have tears," while Zhang Xiaobao liked to hear Zhuang Shengxiao dream of butterflies. While they were talking, Wang asked Zhang Xiaobao, "What do you think? Didn't I spell those 2 sentences very well? It's average. It's not as good as the 3 female voices from the Chinese department that I've heard before. At that time, I didn't know anything and was sitting on the train. They were reciting poems, and said that one of the poems was very good. Especially the 2 lines in the middle. This love can be turned into reminiscence, but there's no choice but to fall. Later, you found out that it was a poem and a sentence in a poem, right? Wang Wan asked with a smile. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. No. Later, I thought that if the one surnamed Yen took over the body of the one surnamed Li, would she be able to write a sentence like Maoling's autumn rain and illness, and last night's west wind withered the green trees? Zhang Xiaobao, can't you be more polite with your words? Wang Wan asked with a smile. I'm serious. Do you eat the black thing in the silkworm cocoon? Zhang Xiaobao asked seriously. If I don't eat it, who will eat the organs? Have you seen what a silkworm cocoon looks like before? Wang Wan asked. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. Yes. When I was young, someone gave me more than 50 kilograms of cocoons. It was a woman in her 30s. She wanted to adopt a younger sister as her daughter, but she didn't raise her. I always thought that she was the most beautiful. When I ate it, I left one behind. At the beginning of spring, it turned into a big white moth. She roasted it and gave it to me. If I had known earlier, I would have left some for roasting. As long as I said that only the brave could eat it, many men would eat it, especially when there's a beauty around. Wang Wan's face was full of regret. How could Tianhan not know? But he complained that winter was late. Guarding the charcoal with a single layer of clothing, I ask who will eat the scones. Father, it's here. Look, it's cold, but the water hasn't frozen. They are so busy that they are covered in sweat. They earn a lot of money with every trip. Father, a few days ago, I heard that the Zhang family sent mini cucumber seedlings and planted them in the Yaman's backyard. They are trying to please Father. Why don't we take this opportunity to say that Zhangjie Zhuangzi is lying? Otherwise, how can there be more this year? Then we can get someone to sneak into Zhuangzi and learn how to plant cucumbers in the winter. At the pier, Jiao Weiran, who had just spent 2 coins to buy a piece of scones with meat inside, was talking to a stout man beside him. The 2 of them didn't bring any attendants with them. Their clothes weren't luxurious either. They walked slowly, ignoring the snowflakes that fell from time to time. They treated it as if they were no different from ordinary people. The person who was called father by Jiao Weiran was the new county magistrate. No one knew what he was thinking, but he decided to come over and change his clothes. There were still a few days before he took office, but he came to Sanshui County. Since Jiao Weiran went back to report and then came back immediately, he didn't interact with his old friends. He only watched and listened at the pier. This time, he didn't waste his energy and told his father in detail about the situation here. The Jia County magistrates looked at his son, and then at the bustling scene at the pier. He said, "It's too late. A few days ago, someone submitted the recipe for planting cucumbers in the winter. Zhang Yongqing is known by many people. We can't do this, or we will get into trouble." Ah, it was submitted? Is the Zhang family so upset that they are stupid? Since they know, why did they send cucumber seedlings to the Yamen? Do they think we can't afford cucumbers? Jiao Weiran didn't expect that the idea that he had been thinking about for a few days would be wasted before he could use it. He thought about the cucumbers that were sent to the Yamen and couldn't take it lying down. The Jia County magistrates thought a lot and said to his son, "It was submitted. Even if we want to plant cucumbers elsewhere, we have to wait for some time before the cucumbers bear fruit. This recipe can not only plant cucumbers, but also other vegetables. But it's not easy to do it. We have to plant them together before the bees and butterflies die. The Zhang family isn't stupid. If they give up this part of the money, it will save a lot of trouble. How much can cucumbers in the winter be sold for? How much is the pier here in Xiao Luoshui worth? Not to mention the 2 Zhuangzi, even if it's a prince, would he dare to keep this method of planting vegetables in the winter? What will happen to the people then?" The Jia County magistrates thought more than his son. Before he came, he already knew that this place wasn't good to stay. The previous county magistrate Cheng had done almost all the good things, so he could only follow along. Otherwise, the people wouldn't be willing. This place was different from other places. The prince was the provincial governor, and was close to the capital. If something happened, it wouldn't be able to hide it. Moreover, the two seventh-ranked officials of the Zhang and Wang families could also submit a memorial to the higher-ups. We can't do anything rashly. We can't. As he thought about it, the Jia County magistrate started to mumble softly. Father, what I said last time can't be done either. They gave us 4,000 mu of land, but that piece of land is 6,000 mu. It's not a small crime to occupy 2,000 mu of land, right? Jia Weiren still didn't want to give up. He felt that he had embarrassed himself in the restaurant that day. Even if it was 2 children, he still had to take the children's families into consideration. The Jia County magistrates was still as calm as ever. We need to go back and look at the documents in the yamen. If they really occupy it, then it'll be easy. I'm just afraid that they won't occupy it. With the pier in Shaoluoshui and the taxes, they don't lack money and aren't afraid that others will find trouble with them. At this time, Jia Weiren didn't know what to say. He took a bite of the scone in his hand and swallowed it. Suddenly he said, Father, this scone is really good. There's another one selling it in front. I'll buy one for you to try later. Yes, it's cold. The people here can still do business. It's better than starving. Otherwise, it will be difficult to pass the examination next year. County Magistrate Chung is indeed capable. The Jia County magistrates thought about things from a more holistic perspective. It would be easier for him if the local people had a better life. Jia Weiren pursed his lips. Father, it's not County Magistrate Cheng's ability. This scone has a special seasoning from Zhangjia Zhuangzi. I don't know how they do it, but the seasoning seems to be different for every dish. I've asked someone to taste it. He can roughly taste a few, but it won't work if there are too many. Why is that? Jia Huanjin really didn't know. I found someone to smell the spices, and the person who smelled it kept sneezing. I found someone to taste the spices and name a few that were easy to taste. Before they could eat it, their mouth went numb, and they couldn't tell what the taste was. I asked someone to specially use those spices to make a dish. If they put too little, the taste would be wrong. If they put too much, they wouldn't know if the taste would be wrong. They would either have diarrhea or dry food. Jia Weiren was depressed when he talked about this. The seasoning used to make fish was definitely different from that used to make meat. The seasoning in the scone was also different. There were also special seasonings for filling and soup. He didn't know how Zhangjia came up with so many tricks. When the Jia County magistrates heard this, he felt that this was right. He pointed to a place selling Chinese crepes in front of them. Go there and buy some Chinese crepes. I heard it was delicious before I came. How is it delicious? It's just a little salter sauce and more chopped green onions. Poor people can eat anything delicious, Jia Weiren muttered as he walked over. Isn't this Brother Jia? I haven't seen you for a few days. What have you been busy with? Jia Weiren hadn't even reached the place when a sudden voice from the side gave him a shock. Chapter 224. Jia Weiren was afraid that someone would recognize him. If Zhangjia Zhuangzi knew that his father was here, it would be troublesome. Hearing the voice, he turned his head and saw a person wearing rough hemp clothes and pigskin boots smiling at him. Jia Weiren thought about it carefully, but he couldn't remember who this person was. From the way he was dressed, it was far from his identity. He asked curiously, "You are? Brother Jia, how come you don't remember me? I'm Ma Lu. Did you really forget about me? Are you pretending? Are you pretending? Last year, when the 5 of us were working at Luoshui, didn't you say that you wanted to earn money elsewhere? Yangxi and I stayed there, and then we came here. Why, did you earn money? Your clothes look better than mine. Stop pretending. I don't care if you want money. Let's go, I'll get them all here today. Let's go to the barbecue place next to the first shop in Linshui, and roast some radishes. We'll also order 2 pieces of stinky tofu and a bowl of wine. Why are you still in a daze? Don't you love stinky tofu? A piece of stinky tofu can last for half a month. Niu Wu said that he would give you good tofu, but it became stinky in the end. Let's go, it's my treat. The man who called himself Ma Lu walked over, and wanted to pull Jia Weiran in that direction. Jia Weiran had never heard of these random names before. They all seemed to be related to animals. When he saw this person stretch out his hand that was rubbing against something, and was about to pull him, he was so scared that he took 2 steps back and opened his mouth to say, "Wait, how come I don't remember you? Tell me what's my name? I already said that you don't need money. Why are you still asking? We weren't like this in the past. Even if you had a lot of money, we wouldn't take it. Working at this pier we earn a lot every day. Isn't your surname Jia?" Malu was a little dissatisfied and retracted his hand. "Yes, then what's my name?" Jia Weiran felt that he was suffering from hysteria. He didn't have any impression of it. Malu clapped his hands. "That's right, your surname is Jia. You are Jia Yi. We call you Jiayu. When you were young, you were swimming with us in the river, and a tortoise bit you down there. You said it yourself that tortoise was a female. Do you remember now?" "Bah, I don't care who you are, get away from me. I don't know you. You got the wrong person." Jia was furious. When did he swim with others and get bitten by a tortoise? His eyes widened, and he quickly walked to the place that sold Chinese crepes. He warily looked at the person who was standing in the same spot with a puzzled expression. "Sai, since you don't want to know who you are, I was wrong. I was looking for you. Prepare the carriage, prepare the carriage." Malu shook his head regretfully. As he spoke, he waved his hand and 3 luxurious carriages came over. Each carriage was pulled by 4 horses. It was obvious that they weren't carriages. Jia Weiran watched as the carriage stopped beside the person who spoke to him just now. 2 people jumped down from the second carriage. It was a man and a woman. The man was handsome, and the woman was beautiful. They bowed respectfully to that person. After that person got on the carriage, the 3 carriages left one after another. Jia Weiran raised his hand and touched his head. He muttered, "It's not hot." "Who said it's not hot? This is a freshly made fruit pancake. Do you want it? If you don't want it, don't block the way. If you want it, pay up. You can exchange it with something. Hurry up." The seller seemed to think that Jia Weiran was saying that his food wasn't hot, so he said unhappily. Jia Weiran was still in a daze. He took out his money and bought the fruit pancake. Just as he was about to go back, someone suddenly came over. Just as he was about to walk past him, he said in surprise, "Brother Jia, ha 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 ha. I finally found you. What have you been busy with these days?" Jia Weiran took a step back and looked at the person in front of him. He didn't know him either. He remembered that the person who carried the goods left in the 3 luxurious carriages. He looked at the person in front of him and saw that he was wearing light green satin clothes. He didn't dare to neglect him. He smiled and replied, "Nothing. I was hungry, so I bought a fruit pancake to eat. What are you busy with?" He wanted to call him by his name, but he didn't know his surname. The person smiled. "Brother Jia, are you short on money recently? Why are you eating fruit pancakes? Come, follow me to the first stall beside the barbecue shop. I specially ordered your favorite stinky tofu for you. A few of my brothers are calling for it. You are always like that. You eat 4 to 5 pieces of stinky tofu in a meal. If you eat less, you can't eat anymore. As a result, you are always smelly. Let's go. I eat 4 to 5 pieces of stinky tofu in a meal. Aren't we supposed to eat for half a month?" Jia Weiran felt that he wasn't in the human world. He repeated what the person said just now. The person waved his hand and said, "Could it be that Brother Jia has fallen to such a state? A piece of stinky tofu can last for half a month. Brother Jia Yusai, don't worry. I will find something for you to do. You can't live like this." "What do you want me to do?" Jia Weiran asked. "Work as a laborer. Look, I will take off my clothes. How is it? Am I a laborer? It's good to work as a laborer. There are good meals that can be eaten for 2 to 3 copper coins. There are 2 meals a day. Do you want to go?" The person took off his clothes and saw that his upper body was bare. There were even calluses on his shoulders. Jia Weiran shook his head. "No, you really don't want to go? Then you can eat your fruit pancake. I am leaving. Aya, here comes another boat." Brother Jia, see you next time. The person ran away as he spoke. As he ran, he took off his shoes. Jia Weiran stood there with the fruit pancake in his hand. He blinked and didn't know what to do. After a while, he remembered that he was buying something for his father. He raised his head and saw that there was no one at the spot where his father was standing. He looked around and didn't see his father either. This time, he was really dumbfounded. Where was his father? He was still here just now. Jia Weiran panicked and started to look around. He ran here and there, but he still couldn't see his father. Brother Jia, what are you looking for? Just as Jia Weiran was panicking, a voice rang out behind him. Don't lie, oh lie. Brother Zhou, why are you here? Jia Weiran recognized the person. It was Zhou Shihu. He thought that someone came to invite him to eat stinky tofu again. Zhou Shihu looked at Jia Weiran carefully and said, My home is here. Where else can I go? Looking at Brother Jia's anxious look, could it be that the beauty beside you is missing? Brother Jia, tell me, what does the beauty look like? I will help you look for her. Jia Weiran used his sleeves to wipe the sweat off his forehead. He opened his mouth but didn't know what to say. He couldn't say that he followed his father here to disguise himself. Then what would the Yamen runners and the head registrar think? Brother Jia, is it because you can't describe her appearance? Why don't you go to the Lin Shui First restaurant to take a look? The beauty usually goes there. There are many talents there. Zhou Shihu continued to persuade him and prepared to pull Jia Weiran there. No, impossible. I am just strolling around. I am not looking for anyone. Brother Zhou, go ahead. Jia Weiran didn't dare to say it out loud. He could only endure the anxiety in his heart and reply perfunctorily. Zhou Shihu didn't force him and said, That's good. Brother Jia, if you have any problems here, you can go to the Lin Shui First restaurant and get someone to look for me. If I can help, I will not refuse. Oh, the Lin Shui First restaurant has a new fried stinky tofu. Brother Jia, go and try it when you are free. After saying that, Zhou Shihu walked away. Jia Weiran was stunned again. Why did everyone talk about stinky tofu when they saw him? Since his father was gone, he naturally had to look for him. Jia Weiran started to expand his search area. He walked to the Yamen but didn't find him. He turned back to the other side of Qiancheng town and didn't find him either. He turned around and walked to the innermost shop at the pier but still couldn't find him. Seeing that the sky was getting dark, Jia Weiran had no choice but to walk to the Lin Shui First restaurant. He wanted to ask for Zhou Shihu's help. If something happened to his father, it would be serious. Young Master Jia, you are here too? Do you want to eat the stinky tofu in the restaurant? Young Master Jia, please come in. The waiter waiting at the pier said the same thing when he saw Jia Weiran. Jia Weiran was already numb. He walked onto the boat and didn't say a word. He let the boat take him to the restaurant. After entering the door and going up to the second floor, another waiter came over and said to Jia Weiran, Young Master Jia, I haven't seen you for a long time. The stinky tofu is ready for you. It is at the third floor, room 3. Jia Weiran knew that room 3 was the one he had been coming to recently. He followed the waiter upstairs and asked, How do I find Zhou Shihu? You are looking for young Master Zhou? Young Master Zhou was still here just now. Do you have something urgent? The waiter asked with concern. Yes, I am looking for someone. Jia Weiran felt a little tired after running for so long. What a coincidence, young Master Jia is also looking for someone. Someone came here just now. His surname is also Jia. The assistant secretary and the deputy county magistrate of the Yamen came with him. They said that they were looking for someone. They went to room 4 together. The assistant secretary and the deputy county magistrate even called him Lord. I don't know what official he is, the waiter said. Jia Weiran grabbed the waiter and said, What did you say? The assistant secretary and the deputy county magistrate called him Lord? Yes, young Master Jia, do you know that person? Tell me about it. The waiter replied excitedly. Bring me to room 4 quickly. Forget it, I will go there myself. Jia Weiran said and ran in that direction. The waiter shouted behind him, Young Master Jia, I will send your stinky tofu to you too. Jia Weiran didn't care about the stinky tofu. He rushed to the room and opened the door. He saw his father with a helpless and anxious expression. There were also 2 people sitting there with him. They were the assistant secretary and the deputy county magistrate of Sanshui County. Father, why are you here? Jiao Weiran heaved a sigh of relief and asked curiously, "Ah, it is good that you are here. Eat something first. I will be taking office tomorrow." The Jia County magistrate sighed and said. Chapter 225. When Jiao Weiran heard his father's words, he didn't know what had happened. Seeing that there were outsiders around, he couldn't say anything now. He nodded and sat down beside his father. Once he sat down, he felt uncomfortable all over. Young Master Jia is also here. Just now, the two of us told the county magistrate that young Master Jia would definitely be fine. Young Master Jia, tell us, where did you go? Were you kidnapped? Ever since County Magistrate Chung left, Sanshui County has been in chaos. Unfortunately, we don't have enough manpower. We just told the county magistrate to recruit more bailiffs. Deputy County Magistrate Zhang Mingxing said to Jiao Weiran with concern. The first thing that came to Jiao Weiran's mind was that if the county magistrate recruited more people, the county magistrate would have even less money. There were already a few hundred people. Why should they recruit more? How many people were there in Sanshui County? He couldn't help but object. Deputy County Magistrate Zhang, I feel that Sanshui County's law and order is good. Why should we recruit more people? Young Master Jia, you are wrong. Seeing is believing. The county magistrate knows this very well. If it wasn't for the bailiffs and the county magistrate who saw that something was wrong, the county magistrate of Sanshui County would have been replaced. Finding another 200 bailiffs is actually not a lot. Xiaoluoshui is enough. I heard that a restaurant is going to be built at the place between the clouds and the water. There will be many people there. What if someone is in danger? Isn't that right, sir? Registrar Zhao Xiang also said. He was full of anger. He should have been promoted, but now there was another one. If it was anyone else, they wouldn't be happy. Jia County Magistrate sat there helplessly. He looked at his son and then at the two people opposite him. He nodded. Registrar Zhao and Deputy County Magistrate Zhang are right. We should recruit another 200 bailiffs. Just now when you went to buy something, I was covered with a sack and kidnapped. If there were 2 more bailiffs, how could such a thing happen? Ah, father, you were kidnapped? Just for a while. How could such a thing happen? Didn't anyone see it? Jiao Weiran opened his mouth wide and asked in disbelief. Young Master Jia, this can prove that those bad guys are bold. They don't care whether there are people around them or where they are. Young Master Jia was so close to them, but you didn't see them, right? County Deputy County Magistrate Zhang said further. Jiao Weiran thought about the situation at that time, then thought about how her father looked now, the expressions of the County Deputy Magistrate and the Registrar. She understood everything. She and her father should have been discovered the moment they arrived here. The Yamen had been giving out money nonstop. Perhaps they were waiting for her father to take over and spend all the money. Now that he had come here with his father, the money had not been spent yet. He could only use this method. He sent someone to lure him here, while he tied up his father. If his father had taken office and dared to tie up the county magistrate, the whole Yamen would be implicated. But the problem was that he had not taken office and had come here secretly. Who would know who he was? After tying him up, he could justifiably be promoted to Yamen runner and spend the money. Jiao Weiran was upset. She had finally seen how powerful the other party was. Just now, she was still discussing with her father how to scheme against the other party. It was obvious that they were just making a fool of themselves. No wonder her father agreed. If this were to spread, where would her father put his face? Thinking about this, Jiao Weiran could only choose to compromise temporarily. She said, "May I know where the county deputy and registrar plan to put the newly recruited 200 Yamen runners?" County Deputy Zhang said, 100 of them will be placed at Tuqiao village. 50 of them will be placed at the Yamen. The other 50 will naturally be placed at the place where the county magistrate is in danger. 150 of them will be working for the Zhang family and Wang family? No, they have to be sent elsewhere. Jiao Weiran was filled with hatred. He had tolerated the recruitment of Yamen runners and the spending of money, but they actually sent so many people to work for the Zhang family and Wang family. They were even more impressive. This time, Without waiting for the county deputy and registrar to speak, the Jia County magistrate lectured. Wherein? What do you mean by working for others? Don't these two places belong to Sanshui County? Don't talk nonsense. Yes. Zhao Weiran didn't dare to say any more. This time, he didn't plan well and was set up by them. Originally, there were already a few Yamen runners at Tuqiao village. Now 100 of them were sent over. In the future, when the situation there stabilized, was there still a need to talk about the relationship between the Yamen runners and them? After that, there wasn't anything important to talk about. After all, the Jia County magistrate hadn't taken office yet. They would talk about it when he was in office. They ate some food hastily and agreed that the Jia County magistrate would leave the county first tomorrow and bring the team over. Then they went their separate ways. Zhao Weiran didn't eat the stinky tofu and left with his father. When he was outside and saw that no one was near, he said to his father, "Father, are you going to let them bully you like this? I really can't take this lying down." The Jia County magistrate didn't look too good either. He pursed his lips and said, "So what if you can take it lying down? So what if you can't? The two of us came here secretly, and we were immediately targeted. This is to tell us not to play any tricks and to stay in office obediently. Otherwise, who knows what will happen? Then what should we do? Can we only stay in office obediently? This isn't the Sanshui County of the past. Father, you spent a lot of money to come here. If you don't earn back the money you spent, won't you lose money?" Zhao Weiran felt uncomfortable when he thought of his original plan going down the drain. The docks could be said to be making a lot of money every day. Let's take a look first. There's no rush. We're not leaving immediately. Let's wait for the right time. I don't believe that the Yamen and the Zhang family Zhuangzi are so clean. As long as we find evidence, the situation in Sanshui County will change. The Jia County magistrate was also worried about the money. It was sad that they could see it but couldn't get it. At this time, the chief secretary Zhao Xiang and the deputy county magistrate Zhang Mingxing were also talking. However, their moods were different from the Jia County magistrate and his son. "Brother Zhang, we've really vented our anger this time. We didn't plan to do this in the beginning. Who knew that the two of them would come here by themselves? It saved us a lot of trouble. When we welcome the county magistrate tomorrow, we'll let him know how powerful Sanshui County is. It's easy to earn money, but we have to do things well first and make the people satisfied." Zhao Xiang smiled and said to Zhang Mingxing. He let out a long breath and felt that the sky was not so gloomy anymore. It was a little cooler. Zhang Mingxing also had a smile on his face and replied, "Brother Zhao is right. They haven't even taken office, and they're already thinking about money. If we don't let them know how powerful they are, how can the people in the county live a good life?" The Zhang family and Wang family spent so much effort to find temporary jobs for the people to do. They earned a lot of money. If they mess things up, how can we live a good life in the future? After saying this, Zhang Mingxing suddenly thought of something and asked, "Brother Zhao, how much money is left in the Yamen? You're just a county magistrate and you don't know? You're asking me? Not much. There's about 1,000 coins left. We're waiting for the Yamen runners to come and equip them with horses and weapons. I don't think it's enough. The Yamen runners' salaries and weapons are almost spent. They don't even deserve horses." Zhao Xiang teased Zhang Mingxing and told him about the money in the Yamen. He knew that Zhang Mingxing deliberately asked because he wanted him to say it and make him happy again. Didn't the new county magistrate want to be greedy for money? You pushed him down. Now you're greedy. The Yamen had been repaired, so the Yamen runners' meals were easy to deal with. They could let little Luo Shui deliver the thing called buffet, or borrow the next month's salary from other people. As long as the merchants were wholeheartedly working for Sanshui County, such as Zhou Shihu's family, or the original 3 restaurants, they could all borrow money. When the time came, they would have to return it when the taxes were collected. Of course, this had to be reported to the state's central government first. Otherwise, it would easily cause trouble. When the little Luoshui wharf paid the taxes again next year, they would report the full amount and wait for the higher-ups to transfer the money. Zhang Mingxing smiled again and said, "Then what's the use of recruiting so many Yamen runners? At the farthest place in the county, There will be at least one Yamen runner every 2 hours. Zhangjia Zhuangzi has its own protection team. This name is good. When people hear it, they will know it has something to do with farming. In addition, the imperial nephew is also there. How can the Li family not have any protection people in Zhuangzi? Throwing more than 100 Yamen runners, there is really not much use for them. They can be used. When the time comes, Zhangjia Zhuangzi will think of a way to make arrangements for these people. The extra people from Little Luoshui will also be the same. Let's go. Quickly go back and prepare. We'll rewrite the revised proclamation and let the people know about the new county magistrate. Zhao Xiang was not worried that there would not be a place to use the manpower. This idea was originally given by the Zhang family. It was not prepared to be used today. Since it happened today, then he took it out and used it. The two of them left happily. Someone had already sent the matter of the county magistrate's incognito clothes to Zhangjia Zhuangzi at the fastest speed. It was estimated that they would arrive at night. This was not urgent and did not need to travel 800 li at night. Another snow fell. It was much heavier than during the day. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not go to the Kong. It was too early, so they only added a brazier in the room. The two of them sat in front of the desk and learned. They had just finished half a piece of paper when the Yamen runner came to deliver the letter. I didn't expect that this Jia County magistrate is so interesting. He actually played with the idea of incognito clothes. In the end, he didn't play it well and leaked it. Zhang Xiaobao read the letter and said to Wang Wan. Wang Wan smiled. So he really wants to take over our docks? Should we still give him benefits? Otherwise, if he knows that we always give the Yamen runners benefits, he will find trouble with the Yamen runners. Yes, we must give him some. We should give him some fungus first. Didn't we already move some cucumbers to him? Then we can give him some other daily necessities. Just don't give him money. As an official, his salary is not enough. Let's take care of his daily life. His salary will be used to welcome and send people. Zhang Xiaobao did not want to be so ruthless. No matter what, he had to leave a way out. The more things that were beneficial to Sanshui County, the more benefits he would get. He wanted to let him develop a habit. As for whether it would succeed, it was unknown. Wang Wan also agreed with this idea. Okay, let's see what he will do. It can also be considered as a test. Chapter 226. The next day, snow filled the sky. It started snowing at night and showed no signs of stopping at noon. The citizens of Sanshui County, who lived close to the county government, gathered and followed the county secretary, deputy county magistrate, and other people. They stood 3 miles away from Sanshui County in the snow and waited for the arrival of the new county magistrate. Deputy County Magistrate Zhang wrote about the new county magistrate yesterday. The whole paper was full of good things about the new county magistrate. He said that he loved the people like his own children, that he was good at strategizing, and that he could bring a better life to the people. He asked people to put up posters all over the county in the morning. Some people who had horses, and some people who lived further away rode their horses to cross the snow. The citizens did not know that the new county magistrate was preparing to take a good look at the county government yesterday, to think of a way to deal with the corruption. They really thought that it was like what the deputy county magistrate wrote. Those who were illiterate asked those who were literate to read the contents of the notice. Their faces were filled with happiness. Deputy County Magistrate Zhang only wrote at the bottom of the paper that they were going to welcome the new county magistrate, and the citizens rushed over spontaneously. They did not have many requests. They just wanted the county magistrate to be like the county magistrate during this period of time. Their biggest wish was that their family members could do some odd jobs when they were free and have a good new year. Jia Weiran and his father had come out yesterday, and they had to go back today. The two of them did not dare to delay. This time they were smarter. They brought a few of their family members, and more family members followed behind. They took the car and rushed back. Father, what do you think will happen when we arrive at the county magistrate's office today? Can we not meet a single person? Are we the only ones going to take up the post? Then when you take office, there will be many citizens who come to complain about you. What kind of trivial matter will it be? Your desk will be filled with documents from a few years ago. It will be 10 feet high. Jia Weiren said worriedly. After thinking for a while, he added, when you gave the order, there were so many bailiffs, but they claimed to be sick and did not come. The deputy magistrate and the registrar changed their shrewdness yesterday and said they did not know anything. Also, which powerful person came to find trouble? Jia County magistrates did not know what would happen. What his son said seemed to be right. Usually, when the people below did not want the people above them to send people, they would use these seemingly simple but effective methods. There were not many people who could survive. After pondering for a while, he said to his son, don't be afraid. We'll think of a way to deal with it. Jia Weiren was in a bad mood and knew that this was the only way. His bodyguards were also not so calm. They were not stupid. They knew that their master had used some tricks to become an official this time. Perhaps he lived in a dilapidated house and did not eat good food. Everyone had their own thoughts as they gradually approached the county town. When they were about 4 li away, it was impossible to see the situation in front of them because of the heavy snow. However, as the group got closer and closer, they could finally see the situation in front of them. Countless people were standing in the snow, looking in their direction. The people on the other side should have seen them too. Under the lead of some people wearing the same clothes, they came over to welcome them. Such a scene frightened Jia Weiren and the rest. They thought that they were going to attack them. Master, judging from their clothes, they should be the yamen runners of Sanshui County. There are so many of them. A man beside the carriage reported to Jia County magistrates, who lifted the curtain and looked out. Yes, I saw them. Stop. Jia County magistrates was in a bad mood, but he had to put on an act. Zhang Mingxing and Zhao Xiang came to the front of the carriage at the same time and said to Jia County magistrates in the carriage, Sanshui County's registrar Zhao Xiang, Zhang Mingxing, is here to welcome county magistrates. Welcome county magistrates. Please set off. As soon as the two of them finished speaking, the yamen runners and the commoners also said welcoming words at the same time. They also made way and stood on both sides of the road. Jia County magistrates, who was sitting in the carriage and did not know what would happen, could not sit still anymore. Even if he had planned to get a lot of things when he came here, he could not help but be moved when he saw so many people welcoming him in the snow. It was fine that the registrar and the deputy county magistrates came to welcome him, because they wanted to give him face. The yamen runners came, because they were afraid that he would make things difficult for them when he took office. However, the commoners also came. He did not know if it was the arrangement of the yamen. Anyway, it was a grand occasion for him to take office. He could not sit still and got out of the carriage. He looked at the serious and respectful expressions of the yamen runners and the happy faces of the commoners. He immediately knew that the commoners were not forced to come here. He walked forward for a while and came to a 7 or 8-year-old child who was snuggling up to his parents. He squatted down and asked, "What's your name? How old are you? Are you cold?" The child was a little shy, so he hid behind. He hugged his father's waist and poked his head out. He said in a clear voice, "My name is Li Xiaoshu. I'm 7 years old. I'm cold. I feel cold when the wind blows. My father said that you are a good official, so I'm not cold anymore. Are you a good official?" The child's innocent look and Weiwei's trembling body made Jia County magistrates speechless. He could feel the anticipation of the commoners around him. He wanted to say that he was a good official, but he felt that it would be against his will. Say that he was not a good official? What a joke. While the child was waiting, Jia County magistrates finally spoke. "I don't know if I'm a good official, but I'll do my job well." As he spoke, he took off his cloak and put it around the child. He patted the child's head and then stood up. He said to the people behind him, "Follow me in." With him leading the way, the rest of the people who were on the horses also got off and led the way. Jia Weiren followed behind in a daze. He had thought of many things that would happen, but he did not expect it to be like this. Being surrounded by so many commoners, the cold wind was weaker and his body was warmer. However, he did not feel good. Looking at the registrar and the deputy, he could only praise them in his heart. So many commoners were welcoming them in the snow. If they really did something in the future, what would the commoners say? The Zhang family and the Wang family had two seventh-ranked officials. If they joined forces with the commoners to submit a petition, not to mention the county magistrate, even the provincial governor would be taken down, especially since it was so close to the capital. Thinking of this, Zhao Weiran went to the deputy and said in a low voice, "Good plan." Zhao Mingxing also replied, "Good official." After walking for 3 miles, the moment they entered the county, the sound of gongs, drums, and firecrackers could be heard. There were many commoners waiting along the streets. When they saw the new county magistrate, they cheered. The children were also laughing and jumping happily. Jia County Magistrate smiled and signaled to the people on both sides. However, there was an indescribable feeling in his heart. He could imagine that many people would know about what happened today. The people in the province, and even the imperial court, would probably reward him in a few days. Everyone would know that he was a good official. Good official? Impressive. This was more impressive than what his son had thought. A good official should not be greedy for money, and should not think for himself. If not, as he was thinking about these things, the road seemed to be very long. It was not easy to reach the yamen. He already knew that it looked very glamorous from the outside, but he did not know what it was like inside. His son could not find out either. As he entered the main hall, he saw that it was not bad. Jia County Magistrates was quite satisfied. After the handover, the commoners left happily. A group of people began to look at the place where they would live in the future. Everyone felt uneasy. Father, this is where we will live in the future? When they reached the back, Jiao Weiran saw the neat limestone bricks on the ground, the withered flowers on both sides, the beautifully painted courtyard walls, the newly tiled house, the winding path that led to the back, and the tall locust tree. He could not believe his eyes. Jia County Magistrates was also shocked. He looked at the courtyard that was just renovated. He did not expect the yamen to treat him like this. When they walked past the first courtyard and reached the second courtyard, he was even more suspicious that they had come to the wrong place. The road was still paved with limestone bricks. There was yellow sand on both sides of the road. There was a flower bed on the left and a moon gate on the right that led to another courtyard. This time, it was clean and tidy. After passing through the moon gate, they saw the winding path in front of them. There was a small pond and a corridor leading to it. There was a pavilion beside the pond. On the other side of the pavilion, there was a clump of plum blossoms. There were wind chimes hanging from the hexagons that rang in the wind. "Sir, please come this way." A yamen runner walked in front and led the Jia County Magistrates and the others along the winding path. They came to a place surrounded by big trees. There were some curtains there, and there were people clearing the snow from time to time. Before they could see what was inside, they could smell the fragrance of cucumbers. "Sir, these are cucumbers prepared for you. You can pick them and eat them fresh. Go to the pavilion to boil some wine and enjoy the snow and plum blossoms," the yamen runner introduced. "Okay. Deputy Zhang, may I know why?" Jia County Magistrate suppressed the shock in his heart and asked Zhang Mingxing, who was following behind him. Zhang Mingxing showed a puzzled look and asked, "Sir, what are you talking about?" Jia County Magistrates knew that he did it on purpose. He had to make it clear and said, "Why did you fix my place so well?" "Sir, you are asking about this? It's not very good. It's just enough for one person to live in. We can't let your whole family live in the courtyard. This is the idea of the people in the county. Sir, you are a good official. Of course you have to fix your place. It's cold. If you catch a cold, the people will suffer." Deputy Zhang Mingxing told the reason, but no one around him believed him. "Sir, in the future, there will be people in the courtyard from time to send some food and necessities. They are all from the merchants themselves," Zhao Xiang added. "Well, thank you very much." Jia County Magistrates couldn't say anything else. He completely understood now that the people here, or to be exact, the Zhang family, didn't want him to be greedy. They could give him benefits, let him live well, and provide him with food and necessities. He just had to do his job honestly. As a county magistrate, he should never interfere. Otherwise. Chapter 227. The road ahead began, and the sun was high in the sky. The county was peaceful, and there was nothing to do. When the sun was high in the sky, the Jia County magistrates, who had been in office for less than 5 days, yawned and crawled out of his warm bed. He was served to freshen up, eat breakfast, put on his official uniform, and strolled in the garden. He went to the front hall and sat on the chair in the middle of the hall, drinking a cup of tea. Looking at the yamen runner who was dozing off at the door, he asked listlessly, "Are we still going to the dock later? If you want to go, I will go with you. If you want to go somewhere else, I will ask someone to prepare a carriage and a horse." The yamen runner shook his head and replied after he was a little more awake, "Oh, okay, then we will go somewhere else today. We will go up the river and walk casually. There is no need to prepare a carriage." Did anyone complain? The Jia County magistrates asked hopefully. The yamen runner shook his head again. "Sir, no one complained. Your administration is clean and peaceful, and the people live in peace. If there are outsiders, they will not dare to make trouble when they see the yamen runners patrolling the county." The Jia County magistrates did not speak anymore. He drank a sip of tea, closed his eyes and sat there to take a nap. However, he could not help but think about something. He was too idle. He had been here for 5 days, and his mother and wives had been praising him for finding a good place to be an official. The garden was beautiful, the room was comfortable, and the food was not bad. The cook at home only had to follow the instructions of the restaurant to cook the ingredients. Even his 12-year-old daughter said that he did not need to be tired. Wasn't that true? He had nothing to do all day. These days he went out every day. It was bustling, and the people he saw always had a smile on their faces. Occasionally, beggars would come from outside and kneel in the snow. In less than a quarter of an hour, a yamen runner would come and ask if they were willing to work elsewhere. If they were willing, they could go to the yamen and be sent to the prefecture. At this time, the county deputy would be done. It would not take long for any official to find them and put their stamp on them. If there were any beggars who were not willing to work, the yamen runner would directly drive them out of Sanshui County. No one could find fault with this. If they were not hungry, they would not work. He didn't need to worry. He was free, but what was he doing in Sanshui County? There was no money in the treasury. The yamen runners' daily meals were provided by the little Luoshui pier. And so was their own family. They did not need to spend a single one. Their food and clothing were all taken care of. Based on this arrangement, if they wanted to earn some money while they were in office, they would have to earn their salary. There was also the Chongping warehouse in the county. Originally, it was made by you, but the prefecture did not investigate. There was a lot of grain in there. If the grain was expensive, it would be put away, and if the grain was cheap, it would be taken away. The Sanshui County was very stable. As long as one was willing to put the seal here, and let others stamp it at will, one could travel around and play. But what's the point? He wanted to submit a memorial to accuse the county's merchants of privately contributing to the government. However, when he saw the 10,000 citizens form on the desk, the other places were already filled, and he only needed to fill in his name. Once his memorial was submitted, the 10,000 citizens form would be filled in with his name and submitted to the government. At that time, the people of the county would feel indebted to him, and thus contribute to the government. If the higher-ups were to accuse him, he would be the first to be punished. "Little boy from the Tang family, are you all right?" Just when the Jia County magistrates was feeling angry, an old woman came to the entrance of the yamen hall and asked the yamen runners sitting there. It seemed that she did not see that there was another person sitting in the hall. "Madam Hong, why did you come out? It's cold outside. Go back quickly. If there's anything, just ask Brother Hong to come over." The yamen runner opened his eyes, saw the old woman, and advised her with concern. The Jia County magistrates became alert. He thought that someone was going to complain, so he slammed the gavel on the table and asked the people at the door, "Who is complaining? Left and right yamen runners, quickly bring him to the hall." The old woman and the yamen runner were startled at the same time. The yamen runner looked at the old woman, and then at the county magistrate, not knowing what to say. The old woman helped him out, squinting her eyes and looking at the person sitting in the hall. She said, "I won't complain. I don't want to trouble you, sir. I asked little boy Tang to come to my house to help me kill the pig. There's only him and my daughter-in-law at home. The neighbors are busy and can't tie up the pig. They'll be back in a while." "I'm not busy," the Jia County magistrates muttered in his heart. He said, "It's such a big matter. Tang Yong, come with me to check it out." The Jia County magistrates was so bored that he was annoyed. Finally, there was something to do. It was better to kill the pig than to sit here. After saying this, he turned around and changed into casual clothes. It would be difficult to wash the blood off his clothes. It didn't take long for Jia County magistrates to come back with a small basin in his hand. When he went back, he met his mother. His mother said that she wanted to eat blood tofu, so he gave her a small basin and 2 coins and asked her to bring some back. The old woman led the way, followed by the Jia County magistrates and the Yamen runner. The 3 of them left the Yamen and went to the old woman's house to kill the pig. The Jia County magistrates was very happy. This was the first time he was in charge of government affairs. Oh, it wasn't easy. As they were walking, the Jia County magistrates noticed that there was a person in front of them who seemed to be trying to steal something from another person. His hand had already reached the person's waist. There was a small pouch there. A big case, the Jia County magistrates thought. He nudged the Yamen runner next to him and pointed forward. He should be an outsider. Judging from his clothes, he doesn't come from a rich family. Don't worry, sir. In a few days, this person will find a job in the county. It's his first time. He didn't even dare to touch the pouch. The Yamen runner had already seen it. If it was someone else who was being stolen, he would have caught them. However, he didn't have to worry about the person who was being stolen. He used to be a master thief in the county. Later on, he stopped stealing and started to make trinkets for Zhang Jia Zhuangzi's restaurant. His hands were very skillful. In a month, he could earn 3 or 4 strings of coins. He should be caught and put in prison. The Jia County magistrates wanted to convict this person. "Sir, there's no one in prison. The original ones who committed serious crimes have already been sent to the county court. The ones who were not so serious have all been released to work. It's better to save one person than to lock one up. This is the first time that person stole something. Locking him up is just to let him know that he will be a good person in the future. Even if we don't arrest him now, he will still be a good person." The Yamen runner could only persuade him. If this person was caught, he would be sent to Zhou Shihu. Zhou Shihu was always short of manpower. If this person was repentant and didn't commit serious crimes, he would arrange a job for him. If he didn't, he would be forced to work, locked up, and fed. Sure enough, just as the Yamen runner said, the person who wanted to steal hesitated a few times before finally taking action. As soon as his hand touched the pouch, it was grabbed and twisted. The Yamen runner scolded him. "Are you blind? You still want to steal in front of me? Don't you know who's in charge of this street? How dare you steal something from me?" The Jia County magistrates was stunned. It was too fast. He was caught in an instant. He walked forward happily. The people around him didn't gather around to watch the show like they did in other places. The people who were doing business on the street shook their heads and lamented that the guy was unlucky. Stealing in front of a master thief. Not to mention that he was stealing from a master thief. He would also be caught stealing from others. The original ruffians in the county began to watch after they changed their ways. They didn't allow others to steal from the people in the county. Even the Yamen runner who saw the situation stood aside and didn't want to go forward. "Big brother, please let me go. I won't dare to do it again. It's my first time." The person who was caught cried and begged. The pain from his hand made sweat ooze out of his forehead. The Jia County magistrate saw that his subordinate didn't listen to him. He had no choice but to ask the Yamen runner beside him, "What about robbers and murderers? Don't tell me that kind of people never come to Sanshui County?" "Sir, you're right. Sanshui County hasn't deliberately killed anyone in recent years. People who come from outside are usually escaping from disasters. As long as no one instigates them, they're more obedient than the locals. Recently, there hasn't been anyone stealing. In the past, some of the ruffians in the county changed their profession to make money. Some of them, like me, have become yamen runners. The yamen runner explained to him. The Jia County magistrates carefully looked at the yamen runner beside him and asked, "You used to be on this street?" "To be honest with you, sir, 2 years ago, when you mentioned Tang Haizi, there was no one on this street who wasn't afraid of him. Am I right, auntie?" The yamen runner told him everything. The old lady smiled and said, "Yes, sir, you don't know. In the past, this kid was always causing trouble and was not filial at home. The neighbors all avoided him. He would be locked up every few days. Now it's different." "Good, very good." After hearing the old lady's words, the Jia County magistrates didn't know what to say. This was strange. Ruffians were now yamen runners. What kind of world was this? The Jia County magistrates couldn't think of anything and could only look at the thief again. At this time, the thief didn't shout anymore. He was holding a fruit pancake in his hand and eating it quickly. In the blink of an eye, the fruit pancake was in his stomach. He took a sip of water from the yamen runner, who caught him, and picked up another fruit pancake to eat. He ate 4 fruits in a row and was stopped by the yamen runner. Only then did he hold his bloated stomach and burp. The fruit pancake was not small. It could be steamed into a big steamed bun. There were also 3 big fruits in it. The yamen runner who sold the fruit pancakes was very generous. He thought about adding some chopsticks into the fruit pancake every day when he stir-fried shredded radishes. Looking at the thief's thin body, he wondered how the fruit pancake could fit into the fruit pancake. He's really hungry. The Jia County magistrates believed the yamen runner's words. It was the thief's first time doing such a thing, so he was very hungry. It seemed that it was good to let someone who had done bad things in the past become a yamen runner. He had sharp eyes. It wouldn't be easy to commit a crime in front of these people. The yamen runner watched the thief finish eating and asked, "Is there anyone else in the house?" "No, there's a little sister. She's 9 years old." "Big brother, what do you want me to do?" The thief knew that it was impossible for him not to do something when he was caught and given food to eat. "I'll go with you to pick up your little sister. When you come with me, I'll take care of your food and drink. I'll also make clothes for you. When you do it, you'll be paid. If I catch you doing such a thing again in the future, don't think about getting your hand back." "Second uncle, how much is it?" The yamen runner warned the thief and asked the yamen runner. Just now the yamen runner had added more fruits and eggs. He didn't know how to calculate. Book ID equals 1589628. Book name equals usurper. Chapter 228. Although Jia County magistrates felt a little regretful that he couldn't handle a big case, he was still willing to see someone change. He said to the seller, "I'll pay for it." "Oh, the county magistrate is here. How can I let you pay for it? This kid will work for little Huzi in the future, so I won't take his money. My cart was made by little Huzi, so I didn't spend any money. Would you like to try one?" The seller didn't have a good leg, so he came out from the back of the cart and wanted to salute. He was happy to see that a kid didn't take a wrong turn. Jia County magistrate saw that the thief was enjoying the food, so he smacked his lips and said, "Okay, then give me one too. Pay up." The last 2 words were said to the yamen runner. He now admitted that except for himself, the rest of the people in the yamen were in the same boat as the Zhang family and the Wang family. The yamen didn't have any money in its account and only gave him things. Since that was the case, it would be a waste not to use it. Yamen runner immediately took out 4 copper coins and put them in the bamboo tube next to the cart. "Second uncle, add 3 more eggs, oil on both sides, and some more chili sauce." "Okay, I wanted to buy one for you, but I was afraid that you wouldn't want it. I'll put more. You didn't help me when you saw it just now." The seller cupped his hands and saluted, then turned back and started to spread the pancakes. He cracked the eggs and put the eggshells in the bucket next to him. Jia County magistrates looked and asked curiously, "Why are you still keeping the eggshells? Just throw them away." "Sir, look at this road. Where are the things that are thrown away? As for the useless things, as long as they are bones, leaves, or eggshells, they should be left behind. When the Zhang family comes back, They will give us some eggs or vegetable oil. Zhang family? Zhangjia Zhuangzi of Tuqiao village? Jia County magistrates thought of that place when he heard about the Zhang family. He was both afraid and resentful of that place. The second uncle flipped the pancake over and continued to beat eggs on it. He said, "Sir, you also know? It's right there. If the weather is hot, dry those things under the sun. Those who raise chickens keep some and other things to feed. Most of them are given to Zhangjia Zhuangzi to feed the chickens." When Jia Yi heard someone talking bad about Zhangjia Zhuangzi, he felt uncomfortable. Looking at the person selling crepes, if he badmouthed Zhangjia Zhuangzi now, he might not sell anything to him anymore. No wonder Zhangjia Zhuangzi dared to be so arrogant, and even restricted the county magistrate. The hearts of the people here were all with him. Since he could not deal with it now, he could only endure. County magistrate Jia made up his mind and asked again, "Then do you know how many chickens there are in the Zhang's farm now?" "I don't know. Many. That's called many. This year, I caught 15 chicks from his family. One of them is male, and the rest are female. They will be able to lay eggs next spring." When the second uncle thought about the chickens laying eggs next year, he became even happier. He even put in more chopped green onions, pressed the fruit, rolled it up, wrapped it in a piece of paper and handed it over. "How much for one?" Jia County magistrates thought that Zhangjia Zhuangzi deliberately asked for more money. This was also a crime. "It's free. I exchanged it with eggshells. 30 eggshells for one chick. When I first brought it back, it was small and fluffy." The second uncle didn't know that the county magistrate was scheming against Zhangjia Zhuangzi, so he said whatever he wanted. Yaman runner at the side understood that the county magistrate was looking for trouble. "Go ahead." The Zhang family and Zhuangzi never left any loopholes for others to use against them. When the Jia County magistrates heard this answer, he knew that he couldn't find any fault with Zhangjia Zhuangzi in this aspect. How could eggshells be worth money? A chick was worth about 2 or 3 copper coins. 10 eggshells were worth 1 copper coin? Would anyone believe that? He took the fruit pancake and ate it as he walked. It was really good. It was warm and full. After eating one, he felt full and warm from the inside out. When the Jia County magistrates almost finished eating the fruit pancake, the 3 of them had already arrived at the old lady's house. The county magistrate helped to coax the pig while the Yaman runner and the old lady's son tied up the pig. The rest of the time was simple. After an hour, the Jia County magistrates and the Yaman runner returned to the Yaman. The Yaman runner carried the pig's blood and a piece of pig's intestines. He said to the county magistrate while walking, "We didn't eat this before. We threw it to the dog at home, or threw it into the latrine pit. Later on, we stopped throwing it." Why? The county magistrate was puzzled. Zhangjia Zhuangzi specially instructed people to teach others how to eat this, especially the intestines. They can be made into sausages or stuffed with sausages. They can be smoked with sawdust. That way, the taste will be better. When we get back, I'll make a meat sausage for the adults. Or I can wash it with water and fry it. It's also good to eat cold. Yaman runner shook the intestines in his hand and explained in detail. The Jia County magistrates didn't want to eat this no matter what. It was disgusting just looking at it. He didn't understand why Zhangjia Zhuangzi's people taught others this. He asked, "What benefits does the Zhang family get by doing this?" "Benefits? Of course. When the people in the county eat well, they will be in good health. They will work more and earn more money. The better their food, the more money they will have. When the time comes, they will have more spare money. When they have more money, they will need to buy things. Merchants will also come over. As long as they travel by water, they will have to stop at the docks. When the merchants earn more money, other than the Yaman tax, they also need to eat. Zhangjia Zhuangzi has a lot of restaurants and shops that haven't been rented out. These are all money. When more people rent out the shops, the prices of the shops will be higher." Yaman runner said this because he had asked the county magistrate. He also knew that Zhangjia Zhuangzi was doing a good deed for the county. Although the cooking methods were simple, they were very useful. Some people even bought these things from other people and opened a small shop to sell them. When the people in the county knew that these things were edible, they would also eat them. Jia County magistrates didn't think about these things. He only heard that the prices of the shops at the docks would be higher after the tax was collected. This was the reason why he came. Why don't we go to Zhangjiazhuangzi tomorrow to take a look? If there is anything difficult, I can help. Jia County magistrate's heart was excited. As per magistrate's orders, we will set off for Zhangjiazhuangzi tomorrow. We will probably arrive before nightfall. Magistrate, please don't be so bumpy. The yamen runner didn't care where he went. There was nothing to be afraid of at Zhangjiazhuangzi. He could see how to grow vegetables, but it was impossible for him to know how to grow wood ears and hatch chickens. Smoke rose in spirals from the chimney, and the north wind whistled. Winter plum blossoms stood in the snow. Who was more delicate? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan pierced themselves into a ball. Except for their eyes, all other parts of their bodies were covered. They stepped on the snow to look at the plum blossoms. The flowers had not bloomed yet, and only the bony branches were hanging on the snow. We originally planned to build houses for the villagers this year, but it was delayed. We can only do it next year. Let someone see which houses are not sturdy. Let's repair them first so that they won't be crushed by the snow. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the trees in front of him, but he was talking about the situation at Zhuangzi. Yes, we have to repair them. Tomorrow is the beginning of spring. After the spring plowing, we will repair them. It has been 5 days, and the new county magistrate still hasn't done anything. It seems that he wants to endure hardships. Just lie down for a year. Next year, we won't have a chance to cause trouble. Wang Wan pulled her hand out of his hand and touched a short branch. She also didn't talk about the plum blossoms, but talked about the county magistrate. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the houses near the school, and saw smoke rising up and being blown away by the wind. He thought for a while and said, he has just arrived, so he doesn't know where to start. He still needs to use the people in the yamen. He doesn't dare to get rid of them and replace them with his own. He must be waiting for an opportunity. I was thinking whether to drive him away now, or wait for a while and give him a chance to leave. It's winter. What should we feed the children? Children have weak bodies. When they are cold or hot, they will get sick easily. We have to make some milk so that the children can resist the cold after eating. Butter, this thing is okay. Just the butter alone is also okay. Wang Wan gave an idea that she couldn't do at all. Zhang Xiaobao didn't dare to think about using butter to cook food. How many cows would have to be killed to have enough for the children to eat? He thought for a while and said, use the pig meat. Use the oil that has been refined to make some steamed buns for them. Apples can be stored for a long time. Buy more and put them in the cellar before they freeze at the dock. Buy some from nearby stores first. From tomorrow onwards, add an egg to your meal. After the meal, you'll get a small plate of cucumber, pear and apple. Then fry some carrot sticks with oil. Each person gets 2 ounces a day as snacks. The medical conditions are really too bad. It's not easy to get through the illness. Well, you can do these things as you see fit. Medical treatment is not easy. It needs the cooperation of other systems. Chinese medicine is based on people. It needs to be cultivated from a young age. It also needs to be talented and intelligent. With enough medicinal materials and patience for practice, it is possible to cultivate a good doctor. The requirements are too high. Wang Wan knew that it was impossible to make medical equipment in medicine, but she still yearned for it, especially in the surgery department. It was not easy to teach people anatomy. Zhang Xiaobao also thought that if there was a bigger hospital here, how much trouble would it save? Well, how much trouble would it cause? The problem of the system is also the problem of the change of the dynasty. If we don't give the opportunity to develop, Chinese medicine already has some systems. A change is over. Do you believe in Chinese medicine? Which system do you believe in? Wang Wan turned her head and asked. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. It doesn't matter whether I believe in it or not. I only hope that when I am sick, I can treat it. For example, if you have a cold, you can treat it by drinking Buplurum Chinense soup or taking some pills. Don't think about opposing, you have to think about integration. Take ginseng for example. If you eat too much, you will have nosebleeds. Something that can be used as a poison can definitely be used as a medicine. Chinese medicine is a way of thinking, not a model. Even if you use instruments, you can still say that it is Chinese medicine. Let's not talk about this. It's too heavy. Sprinkle salt to melt snow or charcoal. Are you talking about the water between the clouds and the water? Use charcoal. If you sprinkle salt, you will kill the fish. In order to maintain this brand, how much charcoal do you need? Wang Wen could not estimate at the moment. Zhang Xiaobao was thinking about something else. So be it. Only collect charcoal in Sanshui County to stimulate domestic demand. Give the county magistrate a chance. Chapter 229. The wheels of the carriage crunched on the snow, and the horses had to be replaced by donkeys at noon. The wind seemed to come from all directions and swept the snow on the ground in a whirl. Every time they passed by a village, they would see a group of children running crazily. Their little hands were still holding the snow firmly, and they would hit the people on the other side. When a snowball hit their faces, they would wipe their snot with their sleeves and provide ammunition for others while crying. Every time they couldn't stand the cold, they would put their hands inside their clothes to warm them up, or rub their hands with the snow until they were steaming. Which child didn't feel pain when they accidentally fell? Their clothes were wet, and the ground was full of snow, so they would get up after a roll. Jia County Magistrate sat in the carriage and watched the children play. He also felt that it was interesting, but it was a pity that he couldn't go down to play for a while. Sir, I think we will arrive at our destination after dark. The road is not easy to travel on, and the horses have been traveling for a long time. If they continue to travel, they will be tired. This donkey will be slower. The yamen runner saw that the curtain of the carriage was lifted, so he walked to the side and said, "Oh, I didn't eat at noon, and I will eat at dinner too." Jia County Magistrates didn't prepare much when he came. He only brought some water and tea, and he planned to drink it in the carriage. He didn't expect that he would be delayed until now. At noon, when they changed donkeys, there was a small shop. He didn't eat when he saw that the shop was a little dirty, so he asked them to continue with the journey. The yamen runner hesitated for a moment, and then went to another yamen runner to get a paper bag. He handed it to Jia County Magistrates and said, "Sir, if you are hungry, you can eat this." Jia County Magistrates received it and opened it. He found that it was fried noodles, but he didn't know how to eat it. "What is this?" "This is specially prepared for us by the Zhang family's farmstead. When we are on patrol or have something to do, we can eat it on the way. Here's also this." As the yamen runner spoke, he handed over a 2-inch-long bamboo tube as thick as a little finger to County Magistrate Jia. Without waiting for Jia County Magistrates to ask, he said directly, "Sir, if you want to soak the noodles with water, pour this in. We usually don't have water, so we just put this on the noodles to eat. The noodles have been packed with spices and other things. This is oil and butter." When Zhangjie Zhuangzi's cow fell to its death, most of the butter would be left to make this. Now that it is cold, you can put the tube down and hold it for a while. The oil will come out and spread on the noodles. It is very delicious. I don't know what is in it, but it is not greasy to eat only this oil. If it is frozen, it can be eaten as a snack. Jia County Magistrates listened to these words, and the sentence that left the deepest impression on him was that Zhangjie Zhuangzi specially prepared this for them. Good, it was really good. When the yamen runners were working outside and didn't have enough food to eat, Zhangjie Zhuangzi would make something for them. It was true for others, but definitely not for them. Jia County Magistrates thought. He looked at his teacup, and then at the pot with little water. He really couldn't soak the noodles. He didn't want to eat it like this, so he asked the yamen runner, "It doesn't seem good for you to just chew on this stuff outside." "Sir, it's not that. We are lazy. Other than this, the Zhang family also gave us 4 sets of bowls and a bag of lime. When you want to soak the noodles, just fill the bowls with water and sprinkle the lime into the other bowls. Sir, if you want to soak the noodles, I have a bamboo tube with some dried vegetables in it. Put it in the water, and it will grow bigger." As the yamen runner spoke, he handed over another bamboo tube. This bamboo tube was slightly bigger, and at the same time, there was a bowl. Jia County Magistrates took it and checked that there was nothing else on the bowl. After washing it clean, he put the noodles in it. Naturally, there was a pot to boil water on the other side. Then he poured the butter in the small bamboo tube. When he opened another bamboo tube and poured the butter in, Jia County magistrates felt even more helpless. What poured out was actually some dried meat, which seemed to have been braised before drying. There were also some dried vegetables. When the yamen runners were hungry outside, they could eat these things. How could they not think of Zhangjia Zhuangzi? There were vegetables, meat and oil. Using that bowl to eat the hot noodles, this meal would cost at least 6 or 7 copper coins. The meat was not pork, chicken or fish. Most of it was mutton, and a small part of it was beef. This Zhangjia Zhuangzi was really too difficult to deal with. The people in the county remembered their kindness. The yamen runners ate their food. Even though he was a newcomer, he lived in the house built by them, used the things they put in the house, and ate the dishes they prepared. However, these were not the scariest thing. The scariest thing was their means and tolerance. So many restaurants and shops belonged to them. They took out the methods of growing vegetables in winter. As long as they met someone who was a little stronger, they would give up the benefits, such as the imperial nephew or the prince. As for those who were not capable, they would finish them off one by one. The Mi family had lost so badly. If he didn't do as they said, would he also lose? While he was thinking about these things, the water was already boiling. Jia County magistrates poured everything into the bowl of noodles. After pouring in the water, he closed the lid and said to the yamen runners outside, "Who wants some hot water? I'll boil some for you." Jia County magistrates had put down his pride. He really didn't want to offend the yamen runners now. There were more than 700 yamen runners in the yamen. That meant that there were more than 700 families, relatives and neighbors. If Zhangjia Zhuangzi could give them food, why couldn't he do the same? "Sir, there's no need to boil the water. We have other things to eat." The instant noodles were originally going to be sold, but then Zhangjia Zhuangzi found out that it was not good. So he gave it to us. They gave it to you because they couldn't sell it? Jia County magistrates was happy. Giving it to someone who couldn't sell it, and giving it to them directly were two different things. Yes, it's not easy to sell. The instant noodles are for daily use. There's another thing that I heard is made with a big iron block. This is it. There's chopped green onions, minced meat, and oil inside. It's wrapped in oil paper. Sir, don't be fooled by its small size. One piece can last you half a day. This is specially made for us. As the yamen runner spoke, he handed in a paper bag. Jia County magistrates opened it. It looked like snacks, but it was much harder than snacks. He didn't know what it was. "What's this?" The person who sent it said that it's called compressed biscuits. It's very easy to eat. You'll be full after eating it and drinking some water. People who travel long distances like it the most. It's small in size and tastes good. It's better than the fried noodles that people usually eat. 2 days ago, they sent another thing that can be soaked in water when there's water. It's water chestnut powder. The yamen runner handed another paper bag to Jia County magistrates. Jia County magistrates was a little numb. He took it and looked at it. He said to the yamen runner, "What else is there?" "There's also some for boiling soup. It's all powder. There's fish foam, seasoning and bone marrow powder in it." The yamen runner took another yamen runner's backpack and put it in the cart. Chapter 230. Looking up, the snowmen were lined up. Brooms were used as arms and leather hats were worn. Red beans were turned into buttons, and the heart was happy. Zhangjia Zhuangzi. During the afternoon break, the children who ran out of the school picked up their tools and started to build snowmen. Big snowballs rolled out one by one, and the smaller ones were placed on top of them. After adding some snow, the shape of a snowman was roughly formed. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also joined in and gave pointers from time to time. The children were responsible for the work. For this, Zhang Xiaobao specially asked people to find some things from the grocery store, such as lower-quality leather hats, brooms, red beans, and black charcoal. He even took out a carrot and used it as a nose. Wang Wan didn't understand at first. Why did a child need so many things to make a snowman? The arms could be replaced with branches, and the other parts could be made with mud balls. This cost her more money, Zhang Xiaobao said to her. This is the cohesion. The children must have a sense of belonging to Zhuangzi from a young age. Everything is the best, and they are the best. Look, the children are more serious when they see these things. Looking at the snowmen that were formed one by one, Wang Wan had to admit that once these things were taken out, the children's performance was different. They appeared more formal and organized more rigorously. Little man, look, this is you and this is me. I'll hold you until spring comes. Lu'er held her little brother's hand and stood in front of the two snowmen, one big and one small, and said to her little brother, who was not very mature yet, little man was much better than when he was young. If others didn't say it, they wouldn't be able to tell that this child was the poor, small, dark, and thin child from before. At this time, he was wearing thick clothes, a leather hat on his head, and a scarf around his neck. He held his sister's hand and looked at the busy people, smiling happily. Hearing his sister's words, the 3-year-old turned his head and said, Sister, spring is coming. The snow has melted and we are gone. Yes, the snow has melted. Oui. Lu'er did not know what to say. It was as if she did not want spring to arrive. You will turn into water and flow into the river together. Then you will turn into clouds, one big cloud and one small cloud, flying in the sky. Wang Wan felt that it was indeed difficult to understand the feelings of children. When they looked at the snowman, they did not want spring to come, so she said in a childish tone. Lu'er's eyes lit up. Yes, when the time comes, it will become a cloud, and then it will become rain. It will fall on the flowers below. You can water one flower, and I will water the other. The two flowers will be together. When winter comes, it will become a snowman. It will be bigger than this year's snowman. Together. Young man became happy again. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also had a new feeling. When the seasons changed, there was sadness and hope. A horse came from afar. It did not go to the place where the children were playing, but went directly to the courtyard of the main house. After a while, Steward Zhang came here and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were making a snow slide, Little master, little miss, the county magistrate is coming. He will probably arrive after dark. Oh, it seems that he still hasn't given up. Come, let's see what he is going to do. Tell people to keep a close eye on him, including the people he sees. It's best to even know what they say. Zhang Xiaobao stopped shoveling the snow in his hands and looked at the small bridge as he said. Steward Zhang knew that the little master did not care about these things, so he nodded and turned to leave. Wang Wan complained a little unhappily. Why did he have to come today? It's not easy to take the children out to play for a while. But his mood became bad again. He schemed against each other all day. If only we were really children who didn't know anything. Children want to grow up quickly, while adults want to go back to the past. We are back, so we should be satisfied. The nostalgia for life is not the pain of death, but the unwilling to lose the attention to this world. It's good to be alive. Zhang Xiaobao seemed to be used to fighting, so he said firmly to Wang Wan. Wang Wan smiled. I'm just saying. If you want to live a good life, you have to grasp more resources. The competition will never stop. Even snowmen have to face spring. Flowers bloom and wither, clouds roll and unfold, and tides rise and fall. What will come will come. As long as we can go further on this road, it's good. Yes, this is life. Fortunately, I have you. I feel much more relaxed. When the water in the swimming pool freezes, let's make ice lanterns. There's a little fiery red in the crystal, and a warm heart in the cold. Zhang Xiaobao's mood was also touched by the children's cheerful play. Usually, he would not say these words. In order to leave more happy memories for the children, Zhang Xiaobao specially announced that there would be no classes today. Amidst the children's laughter and the snowman's black eyes, the curtain of night quietly fell. A hazy full moon hung over the silent Zhuangzi. Sir, please bear with it for a while. We're almost there. If you continue to eat instant noodles, you won't be able to eat anything else. It was dark. A few lanterns were hung in front of the carriage, or were picked up by the Yamen runners. Jia County Magistrate's team was getting closer and closer to Tuqiao village. Jia County Magistrates had eaten a full meal some time ago. In his opinion, The instant noodles in the bowl tasted really good, especially with the meat and dried green onions added later. The taste was only a little bit worse when soaked in it. At this time, he felt hungry again and wanted to eat another bowl. The Yamen runners were reluctant to give it to him. These things were not available to ordinary people, so they persuaded him to eat. Jia County Magistrate swallowed his saliva and said, "We're almost there? Okay, let's go faster." Faster. Seeing that Jia County Magistrates no longer asked for food, the Yamen runners were relieved. They shouted and the team moved faster. In fact, if they wanted to, they could have arrived before dark. In order to give Zhangjia Zhuangzi more time to prepare, they delayed until now. The county magistrates in the carriage were not feeling well. They were also cold and tired. When the carriage arrived at Zhuangzi, except for the occasional dog barking, there was only the sound of the carriage wheels rolling on the snow. Jia County magistrates lifted the curtain and looked outside. In the darkness, he saw a light along the road. He asked the Yamen runners outside, "Why is that light still on? Could it be that someone is walking?" "Sir, that's the other side of the small bridge. It's where the Zhang family and Wang family live in Zhuangzi. Every once in a while, a lantern will be lit to illuminate the road," the Yamen runner said. In his heart, he was thinking that if someone came to make trouble, they would avoid the places where the lanterns could illuminate and look for dark places. However, those dark places were where the Miao protection team was monitoring. "I heard that there's a market here. Is it still open now?" Jia County magistrates thought for a while but could not figure out who would walk on the road in Zhuangzi at night. He could only ask about other things. "Yes, it will be the new year in a few days. There will be more people coming to trade and buy things. There are also merchants coming from other places to buy pork. Zhangjia Zhuangzi has started to kill pigs." When the Yamen runner talked about Zhangjia Zhuangzi killing pigs, his face became more excited. When the time came, Zhuangzi would give them some meat. This year, there were hundreds of pigs to be killed. Jia County magistrates saw the Yamen runner's expression under the light of the lanterns. He felt uncomfortable. If he were to kill the 2 pigs he raised, the Yamen runner would not be so happy. Is it because it's cheaper to buy things here? Zhangjia Zhuangzi is so smart. Why doesn't he sell it himself? The Yamen runner shook his head. It's not cheap. The pork here is sold separately. The pork shoulder is put together, the pig head is put together, the ribs and the meat are also put together. If you buy according to this, you will need to spend dozens of copper coins more for a pig. Oh, it's expensive? Then people come here stupidly to buy it? Jia County magistrates could not understand. Of course, you can buy enough in one go here. If you go elsewhere, you will need to pay more for the carriage. There is a carriage company in the county that will send carriages to wait here. Merchants who buy things can directly hire a carriage to take them back. This way, they can save half of the travel expenses. The Yamen runner told him everything he knew. Jia County magistrates was happy to hear that the carriage company of Sanshui County was using the carriage company of Sanshui County. At least the commoners could earn more money. Just like what the Yamen runner said yesterday, they would have more money to buy things. He could collect more taxes. The Yamen runner continued. "Sir, don't think that the carriage company only charges the same amount of money as when they go there. You can still earn more. On the way back, you can buy things from other places and sell them at the market here. If you have more things, you can sell them directly to Ergo. Zhangjia Zhuangzi will work on them and sell them. So in the end, all the money will be earned by Zhangjia Zhuangzi?" Jia County magistrates was unhappy when he thought of Zhangjia Zhuangzi making money. "Yes, sir. Here we are. Do you want to cross the bridge first, or do you want to go directly to Between the Clouds and the Water restaurant? Several buildings have been built at Between the Clouds and the Water, but they are not fully repaired yet. Only the original one can be used for business." The Yamen runner asked when the carriage came to a place where the roads were divided. Jia County magistrates hesitated and said, "Don't cross the bridge today. Let's go to the restaurant and ask them to serve the signature dishes." "Oh, I forgot to bring money today." Jia County magistrates deliberately said the second half of the sentence. He wanted to make the Zhang family poor. The Yamen runner understood the county magistrate's intention and said, "Sir, you don't have to worry about money. Just like before, you just need to eat." Well, the family in Sanshui County is good. Jia County magistrates only felt happy at times like this. These days, every time he went out to eat, he specially picked the signature dishes. The more expensive, the better. He felt like he was taking revenge on the Zhang family. When the carriage arrived at between the clouds and the water, there was no more snow. The yellow sand covered the ground, giving people a clean and tidy feeling. Jia County magistrates deliberately wore his official uniform today to let the people in Zhangjiazhuangzi know that he came for them this time. He also knew that even if he didn't wear it, they would know that he was here. There were so many spies around him. "Sir, you are here. Please come in. We will serve you on the second floor." The waiter came out to welcome him. When he saw that the new county magistrate of Sanshui County was here, he quickly greeted him. You're tuning into the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.